Hello. How's it going? We got Carly and Valerie here. Hi, Delilah. Let me know how you guys are doing. Here's the link to come chat. I hope my internet stays up. It was doing really good. Now I've been having trouble again. Hey, pork chop. What are you doing? Hi, bossy. Aw, thank you. Thank you. I just noticed that LB just did a Sister Wives live. I was like, what the heck? Stop it. Go away. Just joking. Just kidding. Carly, are you coming on the mic with me? Or anybody else? Hi, Lizzie. Hope you guys had a good day. Mine was so hectic. I thought we'd never get, we were doing like 600 bags of cotton candy. I thought we'd never get done. Come on up, baby girl. I'm going to wait a little bit for the surprise and see if more people come in. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, that's a lot of cotton. We're actually making about 1,000 this week. We were just hoping to get the 600 done today, so it's that time of year. Yeah, Delilah, if you go to damngoodpopcorn.com, I'll put the link in here. We're also on Amazon, Etsy, all that. But the cotton candy is mostly on Amazon and Etsy. Oh, look, Carly's got her little fall emoji. So cute.
Oh, there we go.
There she is.
StreamYard is such a pain sometimes, at least for me. I forgot I can't chat on StreamYard.
Why can't you chat?
I can private chat, but not.
You can't chat in the chat?
No.
That's so weird.
Why. And on my phone, I can't even do StreamYard at all. But on my computer, I can get on the panel, but I can't chat.
See, I've never tried it from my phone, but I know one time, whose was I in? I don't remember if it was AZ and I couldn't chat. I think it was AZ or when she had me go on panel with her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. And I couldn't type in the chat. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Hey, TT.
Hi, TT.
I am doing Sister Wives. I love the thumbnail. Julie Virgo made that.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
All the faces of Cody Brown. He's such an
ass. Those are hilarious.
I thought she did such a great job. I just wish it was bigger.
I like the one in the bottom right corner the best.
When I see it big on my desktop, it's so hilarious. Julie's got a sense of humor. She makes me die laughing.
I loved it.
That dang picture on Twitter of the baby doll with the cigarette just did me in.
That one is for the record books, I think.
Girl, I saw that and it caught me so off guard. It's like that night, like I said, when Irish said somebody old yellered somebody and I about died
Yes.
because I'd never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
That's what that picture did to me. Only I'm all alone and I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. I'm like peeing my pants. That
Well,
picture just did me in.
it was even funnier that some people took it seriously.
I know.
Like, look at it. Really?
Oh my goodness. I was like, now they're going to get mad about a baby doll.
Well, it takes away the fun when they don't realize it's a joke.
Yeah.
So it's like, really, I wanted
it
to.
doesn't surprise us, right?
Yeah, not at all.
I know you don't want to miss the surprise. I've had so much fun with this surprise. I hope people aren't disappointed.
I say it better be good because we've been waiting.
I think it's pretty good, but
yeah,
we'll give it a little more time to see if more people show up.
Well, I was trying to guess, but
I know, and I was like, I'm not giving Carly any hints because she's a smart girl and she'll figure it out.
Well, because I had a few popped in my head like right away, and then I was like, okay, am I putting too much thought into it and it's something really obvious, or I don't know.
I was afraid. I was like, because I was going to give you a hint, and then I'm like, no, I'm not. Because she'll
this
figure it out.
morning, that one guess came to me, and I was like, I bet it's that. And then you said no, and I thought that was a good guess.
That was a really good guess, though. I don't, like, when is that ever going to happen? Carly's guess was I got the YouTube room done. I'm like, no, but I was kind of wish that was it.
Yeah.
I'm having so much trouble with this new camera. Kyle and I were messing with it again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way more expensive camera than the other one I had that I broke.
Yeah.
And we just cannot, no matter what we do with the light, the whole thing comes out yellow.
Well, that's weird.
Like the whole picture of me is yellow. And
that's really weird.
I'm wondering if I should have sent the camera back. I kept thinking it was something I was doing, and it's probably too late to send it back now.
Where'd you get it from?
I bought it off Amazon. But it's supposed to be like one of the better cameras. It wasn't cheap, that's for sure.
I mean, you could hurt in trying to send it back, but
I know, I'm thinking about it.
I think it depends on how many days they do for a return policy.
Hey, Irish.
Hey, Irish.
I was going to give Irish a hint, and then she didn't answer my Twitter DM, so you didn't get the hint either.
So nobody knows. That's what you're saying.
Nobody. No. Oh, look, Pickle is the baby daddy.
I knew it. Looks just like her.
I am pure sunshine. That's right. Don't you guys forget it. Yeah, Amazon might let me because I do a lot of, I sell a lot on there and I buy a lot on there, so maybe.
Yeah, I buy on there a lot. Whenever we've had return something, we usually do it right away, so we've never tried waiting. So.
Oh, Iris is going to the dominatrix den again.
That's what I was thinking, that room. I wasn't sure what it would look like, but I thought it was that room we've been talking about for a year.
Y'all going to give me such a bad reputation. It's terrible.
We're just helping you.
Just helping me out. Yeah, at this point, I think it's not me with the camera. I'm thinking there's something wrong with the camera.
Yeah.
Because we bought a big light and put it in here. We moved it everywhere. We put a big light with a ring light. And it doesn't matter what you do, the picture is yellow.
Yeah, that's definitely the camera.
Oh, thank you, Kat. That's a nice thing to say. Welcome, welcome.
So are you going to tell us before we get into it or a random time?
I was going to do it around 7:30, but I hope the surprise doesn't have me blocked so I can't see if they chat. Initials rhymes with BK.
Have you blocked?
Becky, what are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you were saying that.
No, I was reading Becky's comment, but I can't figure out what she's saying.
I thought you were saying the surprise was BK.
She said, I hope this surprise doesn't have me blocked so I can't see if they chat. Initial rhymes
Oh,
with
I think she
BK.
thinks a person is joining.
Whose initials rhyme with BK?
BK.
KJ.
No, don't say that.
Oh, you
I
guys are
guess
so
it's better
funny.
than NK initials.
Now, see, I never said I was having a surprise guest, right?
Oh, you're killing us.
I know, I'm so mean. I'm so mean. We'll just wait a few more minutes, I swear.
Oh, she
Ding,
says,
ding, ding. I knew that's what Becky was thinking. You know, that would almost be the best way to do it, though, Becky, if I did have her on, would be to not say. But you know, it'd only take, what, 5 minutes on Twitter for the word.
yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea. If I ever do, I might do it that way, Becky.
I still say do like pre-recorded and then premiere it.
Yeah, that would probably be better.
Because I think that would be better for her. She
Yeah.
wouldn't be so overwhelmed with chat.
Becky says, I thought it was a guess, or does it have to do with a transaction that frees K up? No, I didn't get my business sold. I will say that's not it. I wish that was it, but that's not it.
I thought that too.
I kind of quit working with the guy, which is really bad, but this time of year, it's like impossible. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace. So what happened with the guy that was going to collab with you, but then he got closed down right away?
Oh, the CBD dude.
Yeah.
He's back. He's open again. But see, now I don't trust anything he says anymore.
Oh, I was going to say, are you going to collab with him again?
I caught that dude in a lot of lies.
Yeah. That would have been a really cool thing, though.
Yeah, I think if I was going to do it, I would do it on my own without him because he lied to me about everything.
Yeah.
Because, we called the state of Ohio to see how to do it. And most of the stuff he lied about. So.
Oh my God.
Putting a new spin on hump day. You and the hubby do it twice. Why is her mind always on sex? We got to get her a boyfriend. Or a friend with benefits.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe several of them. She's going to kill me. She's going to beat my ass.
Are you red right now?
She's not on the mic, so there's nothing she can do.
I bet you're blushing. Oh my goodness. Anyways.
You have a MJ in Ohio. It's legal here. Yeah, you have to have a medical card here, but there's a way to do edibles. I don't know if you know, Bossy. We were doing edible cotton candy with him. We were kind of collaborating with each other. And then he got in trouble and got shut down for like 3 months.
That took no time at all.
I told him over and over, because I'm in the food business. Yeah. He was making his own edibles in his shop, and I kept telling him you can't do that without a license, a health license, food license.
Yeah.
And he kept telling me, oh, yeah, I can because I'm just doing butter and sugar. And I said, no, you really can't.
It's still food.
Sure enough, somebody turned him into the health department and they came in and shut him down. I knew it. Yeah. Some people just can't be helped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even now, he's trying to get like his 3-bay zinc in and all this to get a food license. Mm-hmm. And he still got it all wrong. I was trying to talk to him a couple weeks ago and I was like, no, you have to do this, this, and this. And he's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, okay, now I'm done with you.
So is he thinking his was more along the lines of like a supplement, not food?
He was trying to say that he comes under the cottage food law. You can't do cottage food law if you have a commercial space.
Yeah.
That cottage food law goes right out the window. And cottage food does not apply to edibles.
Yeah. He found out the hard way.
Yeah, but even now you can't help him because they won't listen when he's like, oh no, you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, I've been doing this how many years? Been through how many health inspections? Pretty sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People irritate me. Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, Ronnie. Hey, Belinda.
But yeah, we thought about going ahead with the edible cotton candy. But I think after the holidays, I just really want to work on getting it sold and having my life back. So
You could do like a really good holiday sale and go out with a bang.
yeah. Well, but if I sell it to somebody, they're going to want to just step in and take it over.
Yeah. Is that a battery emoji, Irish?
What is it? Is it a battery?
I think it's a battery.
Is it really?
I think so, because Becky
my
says
gosh.
no mess.
Oh my gosh. The edible cotton candy was really good, I gotta say. The only bad thing is it kind of messes up my machine because it's kind of sticky, the
Yeah.
edibles.
Uh-huh.
So I kept getting worried that it was going to ruin my machine. And I don't have those little, I've got the big industrial machines. I've got like the most expensive one you can get.
Mm-hmm.
I remembered to bring mine in, Valerie. We got a freeze warning today, and I remembered to bring my plants in. I'm so proud of myself.
I'm so mad we're supposed to get snow the day before Halloween. That always works out that way.
They're kind of talking about that here, too.
I'm like, can you do it the day after? Or
if
even
you start doing edibles, I will fall on the sword and be your tester.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Julie. Hi, honey.
Hey, Julie.
Should we do the surprise?
Yes.
Listen to Carly.
Like, hello. Yeah.
Okay, because I have to, now that we're about to do it, I have to admit the surprise is for Carly, but it's for everybody, but it's for Carly.
For me?
Yes.
Now I feel pressure.
Why do you have to feel pressure?
I don't know.
Everybody, I'm hoping nobody's disappointed. I think this is so much fun. I've been trying to put this together for a while, so.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys are ready, we're going to go. You ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Girlfriends, and they're so supportive and kind.
Oh.
Hi, Carly. This is from Kay. You are awesome. Do you know she says you're a really great friend? And that's an amazing thing to be a great friend. It's like one of the best compliments that you could ever get is being a great friend. You just always have the right thing to say to pick her up, and she just thinks you are fabulous. She says like she can vent to you and everything, and you are that person that just always has her back. And oh my gosh, I have some friends like that, and they honestly have helped me so much. I think that we are who we are because of the people that we're with, and then the choices we make while we're with those people or around those people. And I'd say I have an amazing group of girlfriends, and they're so supportive and kind and good. And I know that I'm stronger because of the friendships that I have with this group of women. So you're that person for Kay. So thank you so much for what you're doing because it's absolutely amazing. And you also need to take care of yourself. You do need to take care of yourself. Set some time aside every day. I think it's super important. I don't know how much time you have, but give yourself an extra 15 minutes. So just start off just giving yourself an extra 15 minutes in the morning to focus on gratitude. It just kind of helps set the tone for the day, and it's amazing. The ultimate goal is like a 20-20-20 where it's 20 minutes working out, 20 minutes journaling and meditation, and then 20 minutes in like a creation mode. That's like the ultimate, right? And I hit that a couple times a month, honestly. But just spending time on you, doing things for you is actually super, super important though, because you are worth it. You are amazing, and you can't just give and give and give and give. You have to take care of yourself too. So good luck with everything. I know you're super, super busy and absolutely fabulous, and I hope life is treating you wonderfully. Take care, Carly.
Damn it, Kay.
I love it. Did you love it?
So glad I'm not on camera.
I love this. I got so excited when I finally got it. Took forever to get this. It
Oh my
wasn't it wasn't supposed to take forever, but I don't know what happened, but it took way longer, and then they were like, "We're gonna refund your money," and I'm like, "No."
Oh,
I'm
thank
like,
you
"Do
so
not
much. That was the sweetest thing ever.
Aw, I love you, girl.
You're right. I would have not have guessed that. I guess Christine, though, I was like, she's gonna be on the stream. So I was kind of right.
Yes. You were getting close, and I was getting worried. I was like, because
Oh,
I felt like if I said the surprise was for Carly, somebody might figure it out. So I was
I
like,
don't think I would have.
I'm not even gonna give that hint.
Was when you said that, I was like, are you coming to my front door? Like, what are you doing? That was the only thing I could think of.
It probably scared her. She's like, "Oh shit, it's Kay at my front door."
It did cross my mind. I'm like, my house is not clean. So
You're so cute.
like, we'd have to take it outside, outside stream.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. I love it.
Thank you so much. That was
You're
so
so
sweet.
welcome.
Love you too. Now I'm all blubbery. So.
That's why I was waiting for everybody to get here, because I was like, if we play it too early, other people won't see it. And
Yeah.
I
At
thought
least
she
it's
did a
on
great job.
It'll be on the replay too. So.
Yeah. I think I can leave it on there. I got to thinking
Yeah.
about that later. I wonder if I'll get in trouble. I don't think so.
Didn't Katie share hers?
I don't know.
I thought she did. It might have been no. I thought she did a video on it. Was it Instagram? I'm not sure.
I'm sure they'll let me know if they don't want it on there.
Now I wonder, can you like ask them to like spill dirt, or are they not allowed to?
I bet you can't. It didn't say any rules though, which shocked me.
Oh, be like, how do you
But the
really
weird
feel
thing
about
was
Cody?
you can only give them like a couple sentences about what you want them to talk about.
Yeah.
It's real limited. Which
Just be
surprised
like,
me,
talk
because
about Cody.
you would think they would want you to give more information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it was. But I
Well,
was
I'm sure people
I
are
was
probably
supposed
like,
to have
what's
it in
going on
just
on
a
the
couple
show?
days,
Mm-hmm.
and then it took like 5 days instead of 2 days. And that's why I kept going, well, maybe we'll do it when you were talking about Monday, I still didn't have it.
Oh.
And I was like, well, Mondays are really bad at work. Let me let you know.
Oh, gotcha. Because you had said Monday or Tuesday, and I was like, well, I've got my live Tuesday, so Monday works, and like, let's do Wednesday. And I was like, well, any day works during the week for me, so I didn't.
Yeah, I was just waiting. I didn't dream it was going to take that long, because it said basically 48 hours, and it ended up being 4 or 5 days. So
I wonder if she would have been able to do it when they were just in Hawaii, or would she have had to wait till she got back?
I didn't even know she was in Hawaii.
Yeah, with Janelle, I think Aspen, I think Madison and Caleb. I think that was it. I don't know if it was a Plexus trip or if it was.
Oh, it probably was, it probably was.
Yeah.
Let's get Cody to give Kay advice on how to run a popcorn store. No, I don't think so. I was so excited about this dang cameo.
I've never done one or gotten one, so
I never have either, so I was all excited.
Cherry.
My husband said to say, he's like, you're like a kid at Christmas. I said, I am so excited.
Well, there's certain ones that you probably really want to get, but there's some that are like $1,000.
Yeah, I can't believe Cody's is $100. Like, who wants to buy a cameo from Cody? Nobody.
Exactly. Him and
Christine, if you end up seeing this video, sorry, but that's just, well, she knows that. So
yeah, I don't think she'll care. She's the nice one. Because I think Cody and Mary's are the most expensive, and like, does anyone even ask them for them? I don't think Robin has it.
Janelle's hers is what, 35?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Christine's is way too cheap. Hers is 40. That's way too cheap.
Yeah, she would get a lot even if she charged more, because I think she's the fan favorite.
I do too. Yeah, and I made a video about him last year, and I said, Christine, know your worth. You're worth more than $40 on the cameo. But especially now.
Yeah.
Because she's like the favorite sister wife now. She really needs to raise her price.
I think she just tries to be affordable for people so that I mean, I guess that makes sense. You might get more the lower your price because even if Cody charged $20, I don't know if people would want to spend the $20 on him.
Yeah. I just think at $40 whack, that's a lot of cameo. If it was me, I'd rather make less cameos and more money per video. But
yeah.
But I think she could definitely get $7,500.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, some of the really big
They do
celebrities
have a thing on there to tip them too.
Oh, cool.
So maybe she's making it up in tips.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But it's like, what would you want to hear from Cody?
No, nobody wants to hear from Cody unless it's a joke. If you were doing a joke cameo, maybe.
Yeah. Like, you want to be my now fourth wife? I need a new one. I'm desperate.
I don't know if he would do it though. He probably wouldn't do it. Well, he might. He needs the money. Okay. Here's my thing. You know how we were talking about Mary doing this retreat for $4,000 to $6,000, right?
Yeah.
I think they need money big time, and she thought, "Oh, I'll rake in all this money." I think something's wrong. They're needing cash real quick.
Yeah, because I thought she was going to be leaving too. Because I don't think they said it on this past episode, or if it's the next one where he tells her she should go, and she was kind of
when he tells her she should move into the B&B.
Yeah.
If that don't give her a clue.
Exactly. And it's so strange with Christine. He's like wanting her to stay, even though she doesn't want to. Mary wants to stay, and he's like, go.
Yeah, but see, I think he only wants Christine to stay because he wants control over the kids.
Yeah. It's more of when he said he's having a hard time being left. So I think that's more of it than anything. Because Mary doesn't want to leave. So he's like, well, I don't care. Go.
Did you guys see the last episode where he's walking in front of the RV and Janelle says, "Hi, honey." And then Mary says hi, and he gives that weird, creepy giggle.
Yeah.
That was so bizarre.
Like, don't call me honey. Well, they used to call each other lover.
Yeah.
And now it's, hey, Mary, hey, Cody. That's it. I mean, he says they're getting along, but he's not.
But he even said that he was like, but this isn't a fulfilling life for Mary. Well, no, you'd think. Duh. I mean, nobody wants to live like that.
I don't get it. Like, why he doesn't want to even try with her in that way anymore. Because
I think it's his ego.
Yeah.
I think once he heard those sexy voicemails, he was like, never again.
Yeah, because at first, when Mariah was all upset, he was like, I was a catalyst too, and I feel like it was my fault. I pushed her to it. And now he doesn't say that anymore. It's all her fault, and she betrayed him, and so.
Well, she said, don't they believe they are tied together for eternity? But, somebody pointed out on TikTok that if he doesn't have 3 wives, he doesn't get to heaven.
Yeah, I think it's minimum 3.
I feel like Janelle has already left, though. What do you guys think? I think she's already left, and we just don't know.
I think so, too, because she's always traveling. So one could say, oh, she's just busy, but she's
always with Christine.
Yeah, so she's in Utah a lot.
See, I think she moved in with Christine. I really do. I think she's living there.
Yeah, especially if they're doing their business together, and they're always together. And she just went to Montana, I think, and then they just went to Hawaii, and then she posted she was on the road again.
See, I wonder if that's why my cameo is late. And I'll send you the cameo because I can send it to you.
Yeah.
She does look tired. I mean, I think
Mhm.
she's great and did a great job with the cameo, but if you watch it again, she does look tired.
Yeah.
She's not her usual, you know what I mean?
Yeah. She probably just walked in the door and was like, "Oh shoot, I gotta do this."
Yeah, I got to get these cameos done.
Yeah.
Which I think she did a great job, but she does look tired, like she had had quite the weekend or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so, Bossy. I don't think they've been intimate in years. Of course, that's just my guess.
Yeah, I think Robin's the only one.
Yeah.
Because I think even Christine said when they were, it was like 3 times a year or something.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah. And then he wants her to do that forever, like not have any of that while he gets to have that with Robin. I'd be like, how is that fair?
That is, well, but it's typical of a patriarchy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what's funny? I was rereading their book, and
Mm-hmm.
in the book, he does talk about that. And to be fair to Cody, because I have to be, the women also talk about being in a patriarchy. And they
Yeah.
did agree with it back then. They did. They can say now that they didn't, but they did. They did in the book. They talk about it.
Yeah. I think it just, the more public they became, the more like public opinion, it finally clicked. Like, this isn't, I deserve better.
Yeah. And I think the move to Vegas and they got around people that, see, before they were only mostly around people in their church, like-minded people. And then they go to Vegas where they're not with their
Mm-hmm.
people. And now they're around all these other people and they see there's a whole life to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, there's a whole new world out there.
That's why I said the worst mistake Cody made was moving him out of Utah.
Do you think that they really had to move, or that was dramatics for the show?
I think it was just for the show. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after I reread the book, because
Yeah.
that's what I didn't realize till I reread the book. That's what season 1 opened with, pretty much, was them having to move out of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk in the book about how badly Cody wanted this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think the kids wanted it at all.
No, and who could blame them? That's why I said when I got asked to do it, my kids were like, please don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah. Like, you could just tell they seemed embarrassed anytime the cameras would be in front of them. And then the whole having to move to Vegas, you saw how devastated a lot of the older kids were. And
That's
then,
why I couldn't believe that they uprooted those kids in high school again to go to Flagstaff.
mm-hmm.
I was like, what the hell is wrong with you people? You can't do that again. And they did.
And he was just so like smug about it. Like, oh, they'll make new friends. They'll do this. And it's like, that doesn't mean down the road they won't look back and be like, I hate my dad for making me give up my life there. So he acts like it's just part of life, and it's
He's so cold towards his older kids. It's horrible.
yeah, especially now.
Mary effed him up by emotionally cheating, even though she was catfished. She thought they were a man. I don't blame Mary, as they treated her like a babysitter and a paycheck. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's so sad about that whole lifestyle is when the wives feel lonely, they just have to deal with it. Whereas the man gets to get all the attention in the world and just neglect each wife one at a time.
It was heartbreaking to hear her say how her house was used as a shortcut to the other. See, I didn't take that way.
Oh, when she was annoyed about everyone passing through?
Yeah. Iris said how heartbreaking how they treated her, but I kind of feel like Iris, it was the other way around. I feel like she was so mean to the other wives.
Well, and that's what they've said behind the scenes, right? That she was not nice.
Oh, yeah. All the older kids talk about how mean Mary was.
Mm-hmm.
She was mean to the other wives and she was mean to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you can see this is why I reread the book, because there's a part in there where Christine talks about one of the biggest fights she got in with Mary was because she felt like Mary was specifically mean to her kids. She said, I felt like she was always picking on my kids and nobody else's. Like she was always going off on my kids. And they got in a huge fight over it.
Well, and that's the thing too, is Christine even said she felt like she, I don't want to say neglected, but didn't give enough attention to her own kids because she felt like she had to give more attention to the other kids so they wouldn't feel like, because if their mom was working or not around as much, she had to give them what their mom would give them.
And that was a lot of kids to take care of.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
And then bring in 3 of Robin's, and then Truly was right there. So it was like 4 kids within such a short amount of time.
Oh, Valerie, yeah, I got asked a couple times to be on reality shows. It's so funny. I think because at the time we owned a miniature horse farm, and I had a live camera in the barn where people would watch my mares have babies. So all these 2 reality shows got a hold of us wanting us. One of them was Wife Swap. What was the other one I said, Carly? Do you remember?
I just remember the Wife Swap and the horse stuff.
Yeah, there was one other one. But my kids begged me not to. They were like in tears begging me because they were like, the kids at school are going to make so much fun of us. And and my husband didn't want to do it either. And I was like, okay, we won't do it. And listen, at the time I could have used the money, but I'm so glad in hindsight I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what I know now.
Well, even now in the new season, you don't see a lot of the much older kids.
No. And they don't pay them. So why would you be on there? They don't ever pay those kids. That's like what they did to the Duggar kids.
Yeah.
Screw that.
I think McKelty wanted to be paid to have her delivery filmed and not have it go to like Cody to give to her. I think she said, no, give it to us. I'm an adult.
Yeah. See, that's where Jill Duggar and her husband got in a big fight with TLC because all they asked him to do was pay her hospital bill, and they wouldn't do it. They were like, your dad's got your money. Go get your money from your dad. And that's when they had the big falling out.
That's crazy. It's like, why would you give it to the dad if the kids are adults?
And why would you have your child on camera and not get paid? No.
I wonder if they're paid up front or after.
Well, they don't even get paid that much anymore. I mean, they're not paid near what other reality shows. Because remember that years ago, they took that big pay cut because TLC was going to cancel them. But from what I've read, they've still never got their money up to where it was.
Yeah. I think they pay the more popular, just depends on the ratings and the views. But with the Duggars and the Browns, I'm like, don't they worry about having to pay that many people because they each have 18, 19 kids plus all the adults? So I'm like, does that matter? Like, do they split it? Like, I've always wondered how they pay so many people.
I don't know. I think all these states need to pass that law like that, where Pennsylvania did for John and Kate +8. They passed those laws just because of them, where they had to put so much in what you would call it's for the kids, and they could only work so many hours a day, and every state needs that.
Yeah. And I don't think they put the money aside either for them. I think they just spend it when they get it and figure, well, it's going to you if I'm paying to keep a roof over your head.
It's not right, but these kids work because they said John and Kate was filming like 12 hours a day until they passed that law. Can you imagine?
No.
These poor kids, 12 hours in a day? No.
Well, and it's like, just imagine having a camera in your face all day when it's not even your decision. So you can't be like, go away.
Oh, they're talking about when Mary wanted the big house, even though she only had one kid. I kind of get it, though, because they put their money in a pot and bought the houses. So why should she have a smaller house just because she had? Because you have to remember, that's all these women have is the equity in those homes.
Yeah.
So if she'd have built a smaller house, then they're going to have way more equity and money than she had.
Yeah.
But she put her money into the pot as much as they did. So
I thought
kinda get it.
maybe she figured they'd have, like, her house would be the get-together house, which makes sense, but I wouldn't want a house that big for just me personally.
I wouldn't either because I don't want that much clean. Hell no.
Mm-mm.
I'm
And it would
talking,
it would feel lonely to me. And I think that's what she said was part of why she started looking elsewhere. Just because
oh,
she
for
looked
sure.
around and was like, Mariah's gone, Cody's gone, like nobody's coming over.
That's I said that empty nest syndrome. It can be hard on a marriage
Mm-hmm.
because all of a sudden the kids are gone, and now what do you got to talk about?
Yeah.
So you better have some other things in common and really love each other because once the kids leave, it's so different.
Mm-hmm. And
'Cause,
that's what,
when your kids are young, like you, Carly, you guys probably talk about your kids every day when you eat dinner.
yeah.
Even when you have a date night and you're like, we're not going to talk about the kids
Yeah.
today. And then you end up talking about the kids, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Or you're just checking in on them, or, it's almost like an elephant in the room in a weird way. But I've always, because the way their lifestyle works, it's like, yeah, you're raising the families, but what happens when you're empty nesters? Like, how you just alone a lot? Or do they just think that the family will always be there?
You mean with like the Browns? Remember they said
Yeah.
that once all the kids were gone, they would live together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that went out the window.
Well, that's why I really loved his design of the one home. I thought that was beautiful. And
It made the most sense to me.
And I was really hoping they would build it. And then when Christine said no way, at first I was like, but isn't that the polygamy way? You live under one roof? Like, I didn't understand why she was so resistant. And then when she finally said, because when they did live together, she was treated as like the maid, the babysitter, and
The cook.
Yeah, and didn't have something for her. I was like, now I get it. But then I'm also like, well, why would you choose polygamy then? If you want, your own space, your own time with your husband without seeing him with other women. And now it all makes sense. And now that she left, it seems like she never really wanted it, but was kind of put into it.
Yeah, and I think it's different because they were raised in this,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Their marriage seemed almost like arranged. I think that's the word I was looking for.
I always said that because her family was so well known.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't ever seem like he was even attracted to her. The horrible things he said about her when they were dating.
Yeah.
But I think because she had such a big family name, it was like marrying a little princess.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what Janelle called her when she first came in the family. I thought she was a little princess. I hated her.
Yeah, and she probably knew that she was because she knew her family name is huge in that community. She knows that.
Yeah. But then I think it was when she said she saw her own kids in their marriages. It was like, wow, that's what it's supposed to be like. I want that. I don't want to have to share.
That's what I mean. Once they get out of that little tiny world they're in and they see what life could be like,
Mm-hmm.
They're like, damn.
Yeah. And for Cody to be like, oh, I don't want her to date someone. It's like, well, do you really just want her to be alone the rest of her life and miserable? It's like, that what you want for her? Because of your ego?
Christine's grandfather was a prophet. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. I couldn't remember. Yeah, she's like royalty.
Well, then he said he wasn't really attracted to her and thought she was overweight, and like, oh my gosh, dude. But then when she started slimming down, it seemed like he was more touchy-feely with her. And then when she was resistant to him, that's when he was like, oh, you're not so attractive anymore. It's like, grow up, Cody.
Sorry, I'm just reading the questions trying to catch up. Dead silence. I do feel bad for Mary now, though. I think Cody's beat her up enough over it, and now
Mhm.
if they're not going to get back together, she just needs to go.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking he needs to tell her to go, because I don't think she would unless he was like, no, I'm done with you. But then he's like, I would never tell them to leave. It's like, dude, put them out of their misery. Just stop being selfish.
Yeah, he even says that in the book that he was never attracted to Christine, talks about how gross she looked while she was eating nachos. What a,
Mhm.
even if he thought that, why put that in a book that's going to be out there forever?
Exactly. And then
So
for the kids to
disrespectful.
read it and
So disrespectful. Do you want to come on the mic, Pickle? You can tell us what you know.
she
I'm
was
not as
cool.
good on the back history of the.
I've been watching older episodes to just refresh my memory, and there's so much I had forgotten or must have missed.
I know. See, that's why I reread that book, because there was a lot in there. It's kind of funny to go back and read the book now
Mhm.
and see what they were saying back then. It's so funny to compare the two.
It's almost sad to watch the older ones when him and Christine seem happy, and then it's like, if you only knew in a few years, you're gonna be done.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Or his relationship with what's his name, Garrison, like when he was all proud of him for doing the National Guard and all that, and then now for him to tell his dad, like, I'm done with you, Dad, and so sad.
Robin's got to stop, though, saying that she's not the favorite wife. It's obvious now.
Yes,
All the other wives have said she's the favorite wife. Stop it.
I think it's crazy they're finally putting it out there.
I
And
do too.
even the Janelle and Christine, because what did Christine just say? She thinks he'll use the RV to have an excuse to spend more time with Robin. It's like, we're all thinking
Oh,
it.
for
And then,
sure.
and then she finally said it. I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah, this is the most honest I've ever seen him be. And I am
Mhm.
here for it.
Exactly.
Finally, the truth.
Mm-hmm.
All those years they kept fake acting like they were so happy, and I kept thinking, can this be real? Can they really be that happy? And now we find out they never were.
Well, at the time I thought they were, and then knowing what we know now and looking back, it does feel fake. Or that they were just doing it for the cameras, and then behind the scenes it was, because I liked the idea of like the big family get-togethers, even though I would never want that many kids. But I was like, how cool would that be to just have a huge family unit like that? Like you always have a big, crowd at every holiday and get together. And now I'm like, they probably all hate it.
What's up with Robin's eyebrows? Everybody's talking about her eyebrows this year.
They're too dark. It looks like those what are they called? The stamps. It looks like she uses those now. Because they didn't used to be so harsh, and now
You probably saw the stamps on TikTok.
that's what it looks like it. And I watched the older ones, and I'm like, okay, she didn't used to make them so dark and stampy looking.
I know.
I think
I'm
she was
with you,
trying to
Bossy.
match her hair
I don't
color.
usually talk about appearance either, but the eyebrows is funny. It just is.
And I
Hey,
think Robin's
Pickle.
pretty, but
Hello.
hey, Pickle.
Oh my goodness. Sister wives are my favorite.
So what's the history?
So, oh my goodness. Oh, do you want to do Christine's history? So
Yes.
Christine's grandfather was the prophet of the church. So that if you're unfamiliar with like Mormon history, Mormon culture, Joseph Smith was the first prophet. The prophet is basically like the Pope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So mainstream LDS has their prophet. All the subsets have a prophet and a line of prophets, and they also have like a ruling class of elders as well. But Christine's grandfather was a prophet within which is the AUB, the Apostolic United Brethren. So they are unique among fundamentalist Mormons because they recognize the mainstream LDS church as a legitimate church. None of the others do. The others all think that it's heresy and they're the true church. The AUB does think they're the true church, but they don't think that mainstream Mormons are necessarily like going to outer darkness, which is their hell. But her grandfather was a prophet, and Cody's mom is who got into polygamy first. Cody's mom and her husband Wynn, they had moved from their church. Cody was off on his Mormon mission, which is 2 years that early 20s, late teen Mormon boys after high school, they serve 2 years on a mission trip. It's required. They all do it. While he was on a mission, his mom was basically sucked into the AUB. She told Wynn, like, either you're going to come with me and we're going to live this way, or I'm going to leave you. And so Wynn was like, I'll take a second wife. That's cool. So Cody was actually not around when his parents got in. When he came home from mission is when he discovered, he knew they were in it, but he didn't know his dad had married a second wife until he got home. And they were like, welcome home, Cody. Here's your new mom. And he was like, oh, okay. So Mary's family was very active. They were converts as well. And he started paying a lot of attention to Mary because she was like, I think he was predatory about it. That's just my personal belief.
I think him and Mary were really in love, though.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that. But I think that he like went to Mary first because she was quiet, she was submissive, or so he thought. Which makes sense, because if you're submissive to your husband, but you have a dominant personality that's just waiting to get out, who are you going to take it out on if you're in polygamy?
Yeah.
It's going to be the subsequent wives.
Yeah, and she said that too, how quiet she was and shy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he knew Christine the whole time. Like, he knew about Christine when he was dating Mary. Christine had a crush on him, thought he was hot, wanted to date him, but she was too young. I know Christine, like everybody knows, that she always wanted to go into polygamy because that's how she was raised. She herself said she wanted to be a third wife because she thought that it was like the best position to be in as a female within the culture, because you're not breaking up a marriage and you're not by yourself with a man. And she never wanted to be alone with a man, which the way that these cultures work, they don't talk about like, yes, I did. Sorry, my husband's yelling at me. They don't talk about, hang on one second.
I think it's funny too, though. Do you guys remember a few years ago when Christine's mom quit polygamy and she was staying with Christine?
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered then, I thought that's going to have an influence on Christine.
Well,
I knew it would.
Christine's aunt is Kristen Decker. That's her mom's sister. And Kristen Decker is one of the founders of Holding Out Hope, which is a group that helps these they call them lost boys, the boys that are kicked out when they're preteens because there's no women to marry. So the prophet and the church finds some grave, terrible sin they've apparently committed and kicks them out of the community. I mean, imagine being a 13-year-old little boy and all of a sudden you don't have a home. You can't talk to your family, you're exiled. Mm-hmm. So that group like helps them and helps families coming out and whatever. So she was one of the founding members and she still works very closely. So that seed of doubt has been there. I don't know if you guys remember the episode where they were in Las Vegas, they went to UNLV and were speaking on a panel with other experts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They played that up. TLC really played that up to be like a big stink, like there was some big whatever. But Kristen Decker did an interview on a podcast like 2 months later, and she was like, after the episode came out, she's like, I saw that episode and I don't understand because Christine and I gave each other a hug and a kiss and we love each other. So that makes no sense. I think Christine felt pressured into it. I think that I've heard of this phenomena among other polygamous families where like a new wife comes in and she's scared to be herself because she so desperately wants to fit in. She so desperately wants to not rock the boat that they almost take on the identity of the previous wives So if they're quiet, she's quiet. If they're rambunctious, she's rambunctious. They go with the flow kind of thing. Because you're walking into an established family.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that Christine did that, and she sensed a lot of tension, and she felt like she could be the joy. And think about what that, and I'm not blaming Christine at all, but think about the inflated position she would have had. Cody has said it himself. She came in and saved our butts. She brought this nice, little union between all of us. Everything was calmed down for a while. We were okay. We all got along. Everything was happy. And then, subsequent things happened. She left, bought her own house, and took her kids and was gone for a year. But I think that Christine has always felt like she was like the little savior, and she was so needed because she mothered the kids. And where there was tension between Janelle and Mary, she was always, imagine being a man with two wives feuding, and you come home to the wife that's the peacemaker. You lay down in bed next to her, and you probably look at her like, God, I love you. You make life so easy. And he said that. He has said with Christine, life is light and easy, and we have a good time.
Yeah.
Which you can never have a true relationship with someone if you don't have problems or issues ever.
Yeah, for sure.
So I can imagine the culture shock. It was 16 years between Christine and Robin?
Yeah, I think that was part of the problem too.
Mm-hmm.
That
I think Mary,
that gap was too long.
yeah, I think Mary knew exactly what she was doing. I think she already had issues with Janelle. Then she didn't have as many kids as the two of them. And so she was being pushed out, and she wanted this beautiful, she saw, because we've talked about this privately, the real relationship, the real marriage is Christine and Janelle. Like, they have a true partnership, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think Mary felt left out, and she wanted somebody she could be buddy-buddy with. And I don't think she banked on upsetting Christine as much. Because I do think Mary and Christine do love each other and have a friendship, for sure. And as much as Mary was the one who stepped down on Cody, that's because he wasn't giving her what he promised. And he did make her promises. So in her mind, he invalidated whatever already. It had nothing to do with Robin. It was that Cody wasn't loving her anymore the way she felt she was supposed to be loved. So when she emotionally went looking for something else, I don't think that Mary ever intended to actually like pack her bags and go, or she would have when she got divorced.
Oh no, I think she was ready to go. I disagree. If
Do
you
you?
watch that scene where she tells him she's leaving, she
Now
was
that-
ready to
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You know the one where she says, "I'm just going to take off by
Yeah.
myself for a while."
They're eating dinner at that point.
Yeah.
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 I
At that
think-
point, yes. Yeah.
I
would
think
agree
if
with
that
that.
had been a catfish, she would have gone.
Yeah, I think that she didn't intend. Like, I think she liked the attention. I've actually talked to Mary on various occasions. I will say that I didn't talk to her before the catfishing. I didn't speak to her at all before that. I have talked to her since. She is closed off in a way that it's a very like, you're a fan, I'm this person. She doesn't get like real chummy. She may with some. I bought
probably
something
like
from her.
Katie Joy. They get paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Christine, her whole life has been the golden child, but she's never done anything for herself. She's made everybody happy and fulfilled the role she was called to, no matter what it was. She was the little princess. She did everything the right way growing up. She did everything the right way, and per her religion and her family as an adult. So she's never really felt anything that's real, in my opinion. And then Carly, you said how she saw, her kids have real love. She did an interview not long ago I saw, and she said, she had such a problem with Tony and McKelty when they first started dating. And then like on their wedding day, she's like, I realized that he really loved her. I saw the look in his eyes. And then slowly, she said, I started to realize that no one's ever looked at me that way. And then getting, being close to them, seeing them as a couple, she realized that, even though maybe that wasn't her choice or her first choice, or it even didn't seem right to her, she realized that like McKelty and Tony are truly in love, and Tony treats McKelty like you're supposed to treat the woman you are in love with. And it opened her eyes to that. She's never been that. She's always been like, you're part of the team. You got to work for us. You know, we. And I think that's a big component of Cody's problems, is that he didn't nurture those individual relationships. He didn't give them a chance to be more than what he needed them to be.
Well, and I think once Robin came, he just totally discarded them.
Oh, he did. He checked out. He was done.
Yeah,
He was
for
done.
sure
The
checked out.
shiny new toy.
I mean, it was Peyton did a TikTok not long ago, and he said, Cody, my dad, has met his true soulmate, and that's Robin.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yep.
But the saddest thing to me is how he treats Robin's kids, and somebody was saying this in the chat, versus his other kids. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so
He babies them.
screw with those kids' heads by seeing him be a full-time dad to those kids,
Yeah.
where
Yep.
they never got that.
They called him daddy. Like, they weren't married. They were dating, and she had just moved into the new house, close to the big house. And I remember Brianna, who was little tiny, like what, 6, 7 years old. And she comes right up to to Jody. I don't know who Jody is. Cody, that's what I'm talking about. Jody, the new dad. She comes up to Cody and she's like, Daddy. But the weirdest thing, have you seen the picture of their dad, their real dad?
No.
Okay.
I have
he
on
looks-
Google if that's him or
Yeah.
not, but
He
he looks
looks
just
a lot-
like
looks just
Aurora.
like Cody. Well, yeah, he does. But he looks like Cody. They have the same hair. And he's Cody's cousin.
Is he really?
Yes.
Well, they're all freaking related.
God, keeping it in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is
So they-
really common with Mormons. It's not just them. That
Especially polygamous, FLDS and
yeah.
other fundamentalists. Yes. But the weird thing about it, that for me, was that he claims, Cody and Mary in the book, they claim to have just discovered Robin. One day when they came over to her other cousin Ruby's house, who they were friends with. But she's married to Ruby's brother, or was. And they're good friends with Ruby. How do you not know Robin? I mean, maybe not be good friends with them, I get, but they had to have known she existed. So I just think the whole thing just seems very unplausible with the way they lay it out. I'm not saying that Robin left her husband for Cody. I don't think that. But I think that they knew about her. And I think that they privately discussed her before they ever planned on making a move. I'm saying Cody and Mary. The other wives didn't know, which again is against their doctrine. They should have known from jump. But Mary even says it was this special little secret just between. Can you imagine? Can you actually imagine being with your husband, laying in bed at night and be like, ooh, this other woman, that's our little secret. That's weird.
It sounds really
Yeah,
creepy.
they talked about that in the book too. About them laying in bed and talking about Robin and how excited they both were.
I bet Mary was real excited because she was finally, getting some attention.
Yeah.
She was like, let's talk about
Well, and I
Robin.
think it's like you said, she thought she was getting an ally.
Mm-hmm.
She thought she was going to have a buddy now,
Mm-hmm.
Very
and
odd.
then found out it wasn't going to work out that way. No.
I asked my husband the other day, jokingly, we were watching it because I rewatched all the seasons. I read the book. I read the Darger book, and I started the Kristen Decker book. And I said, "Could you live polygamy?" And he was like, "No." He thinks Cody's a joke. He says terrible things about him. But I was like, "But what if we did it? What if I wanted to, and I wanted you to take, a second wife?" And he was like, well, I mean, I guess it would be okay, but she better at least be hot because I deserve a hot wife. And I looked at him and I was like, he's like, no, I meant those other wives aren't hot. And if I was married to them, I'd need a hot one. And I was like, yeah, you're sleeping on the couch the next week or so.
Too late. Already left your mouth.
Uh-huh.
It's so different though when they're, because I had that neighbor I lived next to and got pretty close to that was Mormon. She's not LDS, but Mormon, and the crazy things that went on, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right. It's not right.
No, they're good people.
I'm telling you. And her dad was in prison he started his own MLM and was shady and ended up in prison over it. And I got to tell you guys this story. This is what I kept saying in Discord. So her and I lived next door. We're really good friends. We got really close. And she had one son and couldn't get pregnant again. And then her husband, and he had a lot of health problems. So her husband's like, I'm going to get a vasectomy and we'll just be done with this and not have to mess around with birth control. So then one night I babysat for him and they went out on a hot date. He went and got his vasectomy and then they find out she's pregnant. So it was always a joke that it was my fault because I babysat that night when they went for date night right before the vasectomy, right? So we always joked about it. So now she's pregnant and we're all excited and, just hoping nothing goes wrong on this one. And, she's healthy. Everything's going good with the baby. And her mom comes. Her mom and her sister, and they're Mormons, and they come and stay at her house. And her mom freaks me out because they're just so strange. I'm sorry. I don't try to make fun of other religions, but they are so strange. So like every time I go over there, they're talking about the visions that they had.
Oh, yes.
Which is a big Mormon thing. And so as I'm around them more, what I get from it, and this is just my opinion, is they use these visions to manipulate the people around them. So like if I don't like what Pickle's doing, I would be like, you know what, Pickle? God sent me a vision last night and said you should not be wearing red and you're going to have to stop wearing red, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
That's what these people were doing. So I start getting a really bad feeling. Well, they are so pissed that her husband had a vasectomy. They are livid over it. And they're constantly bringing it up. And they keep telling her that they went against God's will and there's going to be hell to pay for this. And this goes on and on and on. So then all of a sudden one day I get a call from her husband and he's like, Abby's I shouldn't have said the name, having the baby. And I'm like, what? Because she's only like 5 months. And I'm like,
no.
What are you talking about? And he's like, you have to get to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. She had the baby. He was life flighted to the children's hospital. And I'm talking to Abby and she is drugged up. And she's telling me that her mom did something. And I'm like, oh my God.
Like gave her a drink or something?
That's what she was kind of saying. Like saying it without saying it. And she was so upset and she was crying. And her
Mormons believe in bitter waters. That's weird.
Her husband's looking at me and I'm freaking out. And I mean, the whole thing was so weird. So I'm trying to make a long story short. Sorry, guys. Hope this isn't too much. So anyway, afterwards, a few weeks later, she comes home and the baby's still in the NICU. And they decide to cheer her up by having a baby shower. So I go over to the baby shower. And of course, her mom and all of them are still there. And we're trying to just cheer her up and have a good time, right? Her mom starts in about her visions. The reason your baby's in the NICU is because your husband had a vasectomy. And she just starts bawling. And I'm like, you can't do this to her. Stop it.
That's
Because
terrible.
y'all know what a big mouth I have. I am the same way in real life. Believe it. So I stand up and I'm like, you can't do this to her. Stop it. Stop it right now. And she's just losing it. And then they kick me out of the house. I'm telling you, I have always felt her mom did something.
Yeah, that's crazy. But the whole Mormon church, so mysticism was like a big thing in socially in the world when Joseph Smith was coming up as a child. Like people did a lot of seances and blah blah blah. That was a big thing that was not Victorian, but right at the very end of Victorian times, kind of Victorian. I guess it was, to be fair, the 1820s, 1830s. And so Joseph Smith's story is that he prayed to God, what church should he join? And God came to him and said, I'm going to make a new church, which is why they call themselves the 1-2 church, because they believe it's the actual restoration of the church, which there is spoke about in the Bible, the restoration of the church, but that's a whole different story. But Joseph Smith was a con artist. He had been prosecuted and found guilty of conning people. So it is him. So it is brother. So he just figured out a way to start a religion. I mean, who was it? Scientologists. RL, or what is his name? LH Har, L. Ron Hubbard. My brain stops working sometimes. And he said, L. Ron Hubbard made this famous quote: "If you want to be a rich man, start a religion," and it's absolutely true. So Joseph Smith starts the religion, and their mysticism is very secretive but fascinating. I mean, you could say about any religion in the world. Like if I came to you and like me as a Christian, specifically a Catholic, if I came to you and said, "Well, we believe that this magical spirit who has always existed in the sky sent a human who was actually a part of him, basically him, embodied into human flesh, and that guy was tortured to death, and because of that sacrifice, we're all going to heaven someday." That sounds crazy. Like if you just take it at face value.
Yeah.
So you could say all religion is a little bit crazy sounding, but
Yeah.
their religion, he literally, when he was starting the religion, there were people who were like working against him. Like they were not like trying to take him down, but they were trying to prove that like maybe he was lying. One of the guys he was really good buddies with, the wife, was like, "I don't believe this crap. This is BS." So Joseph Smith writes part of his manuscript, and he brings it over to the man and the woman to like look over, and they look over it, and he's like, "Hey, can I keep this for a night?" And Smith is like, "Sure, go ahead and keep it for a night." Well, his wife gets up in the middle of the night and throws it in the fireplace and burns it.
Yeah, I read about that.
And then they're like, "Rewrite it," and he's like, "Oh, I can't. It's different now." He used to put rocks in a hat and look into the hat to speak to God. The biggest reason why and I know they identify themselves as Christians, and I do think they're, as a whole, lovely people, but they don't believe in one God. They believe in many gods. They believe that when they die, they themselves are going to get a planet like Earth, and the man and his spirit wives are going to create a bunch of souls in heaven who then will pick their families in heaven, because they believe in preordination, predestination. And then they will start life on their planet. And then all those people on their planet are going to get married, have babies with multiple wives. And they will pick the souls, in each family unit to put in. That's why they don't believe in birth control or any kind of inhibiting, children, because they truly believe that there are souls in heaven waiting right now for the chance to be born, so they can someday become gods as well.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That show Big Love was the part of the reason they did Sister Wives. Because you have to remember back then, Big Love was the big show on HBO. And Cody said that's what caused them to go look, TLC to go looking for a polygamous family.
Yeah.
That would go on TV, but it was really hard to find one because they don't like to do that.
The Dargers, it's Joe Darger, who's the bald guy. He's been on the show with Cody and the wives, and his wives. He's married to a cousin and two twin sisters. They actually were the inspiration for Big Love. And when HBO did Big Love, the very first episode, previous to the episode coming out, the producers had tried to speak to them, and they were already a little uncomfortable. And then TLC actually went to the Dargers first. As much as I believe that polygamy and Mormonism is not a good idea, it does function well for them, at least from what I can tell. They are a lot more like real and human, and their relationships are a lot better than the Browns. So like, if Joe and his wife...
He's the one that married two sisters, right?
Yeah, he married the twin sisters. Yep, 10 years apart.
Yeah.
Yep. But they actually came to them and they were like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And he was like, "No, not at all. Not interested." He was like, "I knew that a reality show they've done like specials and features, but they won't do a full-time show."
Well, I thought Big Love was a great show. And it hooked me in. That's why I wanted to watch Sister Wives.
Yeah.
I mean, it was brilliant when you think about it, how they timed that.
My parents call their GPS Margene. They scream at her all the time. They call her the second wife Margene.
Well, I'm not going to say what I call mine.
Probably the same thing I call mine.
I can be cussing mine out because she's always got me going the wrong damn way.
Yep.
They always have you take the long way, like the scenic route you don't want to take.
Yeah, or it didn't update. Now that's roads closed off or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
We have
thanks.
tunnel tolls and bridge tolls here, and like it'll take you'll spend $1,000 in 1 day travel if you don't like set it so you can avoid the tolls here.
See, I think it is too, Belinda. I think marrying sisters is kind of gross. I don't get it. But
Well, it's like the kids will be siblings and cousins. It's
Yeah.
weird.
And they are. It's I love my sister desperately. She's an amazing human being. I don't ever want to be physically intimate with a man who has been physically intimate with my sister. I
No.
don't find that appealing in the
Nope.
least.
Nope. And it be a regular thing too. Not like, oh, it happened one time. Like, no, you're sharing him.
I mean, I'm not going to be gross, but my brain can definitely go to plenty of gross places, especially since men are not the cleanest creatures alive. And I'm like, what?
I just can't even imagine living that lifestyle. I'd last 10 seconds. No, that's not going to happen.
No. It's just,
I mean, now as an adult who is sick and can't do a whole lot, if I had an extra chick around who wanted to like clean the house, I'm cool with that.
well, and that's the funny thing is, they say, oh, well, when I'm not around, there's someone watching my kids or they're there to do this. It's like, you can hire people to do that. You don't need to share your husband with them. Like, there's ways around it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just, the whole concept is so bizarre to me.
Shoot, I still remember that scene when Christine was going in labor and he's kissing Robin, and I thought that is so disrespectful. How could you do that?
Yeah.
Or do you remember
was
the
horrible.
day, the morning of his wedding with Robin, Mary went in the room to like fix his tie or something like that, and he's like, well, you're looking good, and like flirting with her. It's like, you're about to marry another woman. Oh, okay. Like,
So gross.
I wonder, because they've said things like, if your sister wife and your husband are having a good relationship, your relationship's good too. And all I can think is like, well, yeah, if he's like on a high with a woman and he's coming off of it, and men are definitely more physical creatures. And if you're only getting it every 4 nights, any attention whatsoever, and he's happy because he just had a hoopla night with wife number 2 right before you, yeah, of course your night's going to be great because he's on that high and he wants to keep going with it. But if he's in a bad mood,
let's say on the other end,
if my husband comes home rotten because he had a bad day at work and he tries to be snarky with me, it's on like Donkey Kong. I can't handle that.
Well, I know they talked about in the book too about delaying Robin and Cody's wedding because they wanted it to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that caused a lot of, in hindsight, they felt like that caused a lot of hurt feelings because normally they don't court very long. They court a month and get married just to avoid all that.
Yeah, well, they had, between Janelle and Mary, there was a potential second wife, a first potential second wife. And Mary and Cody were going to marry her, but then they found out she was underage.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And they couldn't wait the time period for her to turn of legal age because it would be too uncomfortable. So then Janelle was like, yo, Cody, what's up? And he was like, I think we should get married.
Yeah, I don't think he ever wanted to marry Christine, though. I don't. Or Janelle.
No.
Janelle. That was a convenience thing between the families, I feel like.
I think that Janelle was financially stable. And he and Mary say right in the book that, like, if we wanted to go, like, out of town, we would just quit our jobs and pack up our house and go out of town and go visit family. And then we'd come back and we'd get jobs and we'd rent a new place and da-da-da-da-da. And I think Janelle, like, looked like money in the bank to them. And she was and has been. So...
You know what I thought was weird, too, though, when I reread the book, is there's a part where Christine talks about, and this is while they're in Vegas, that her and Janelle are going to buy a house together. And this was after they already built the houses in Vegas. I was like, wow, I don't remember that.
I don't either.
Yeah, they talked about it.
That's really telling right there that those two were talking about getting a house together, which means they would have gone out of that what do you call it? Cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
But I
Yeah,
thought
because-
Christine didn't want to live with any of them.
I
She
know,
didn't
that's why I
ask-
thought it was so weird in the book where Christine's saying, yeah, Janelle and I were talking about moving in together and looking at houses. I'm like, what? Where did this come from?
I think that because their relationship is so like symbiotic and they have the same number of kids, same ages, Janelle really does a good job working and Christine does a good job as a stay-at-home mom. I think personally they were annoyed because Robin brought, and I'm not talking about the kids, but financially she brought so much baggage to the relationship.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah, because she was deep in debt.
deep into, like, I remember one episode they went to see the credit specialist and her score was like under 500, which is like, what? How can it happens? I'm not shaming anybody, but oh, terrible. And I think that Kristen Decker talks about in a podcast she does how before the show that there was always someone on food stamps. There was always someone getting some kind of welfare within
Welfare,
the
yeah.
Brown family. Yeah, some kind, some way, somehow. When Mary and Cody declared bankruptcy a few years ago, they included Janelle's kids as their children in the bankruptcy.
Dang.
So that means that they had to claim Janelle's kids as on their taxes. So I think, and this was during Vegas, and I think that Cody like convinced Janelle to do this. And see, because my understanding has always been like Cody and Mary would claim together since they were the married couple, and they would claim Mariah, and each individual mother would claim her own children as a single person on her taxes, which then reflect, if you go get food stamps or you go get any kind of assistance, they look at they pull your tax stuff for 5 years, up to 5 years, to get your financials. So that would have impacted Janelle heavily with her not claiming her own children. And like I said, it was before Mary and Cody divorced. So I think that I also know that Janelle has like a lot of other businesses and just the ones she's very public about. She has a consulting business. She has a business, not the Plexus, but a totally separate business with a different kind of like health drink and health food kind of things. I think Janelle, I know we've all heard the rumor. I think I shared that with you guys on the Sister Wives Wiki that she's left Cody, but it's just not out yet because the show
Yeah,
hasn't
that's
gotten
what
that
we were
far.
saying in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's already left.
I think so, and I think that that's why Cody and Robin are freaking out because they're trying to get a new loan right now. They're trying to refinance the mansion.
Well, that's why I said that's why she's doing this retreat for $6,000 because they obviously need cash quickly.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
that
think
whole
Cody
thing
was
thrown together last minute.
and I think that's why Cody tried to push Mary away because at this point, his responsibilities financially are truly, and he can't be necessarily held to that if Christine doesn't push it. And then Robin's kids, and Mary. And so if he pushes Mary away, all he's got to worry about is Robin and her kids. And if they are the only ones that build on Coyote Pass versus,
Girl, nobody's building on Coyote Pass. Ain't nobody building.
Never.
It's been 4 years and they haven't laid down a brick. It ain't happening.
It is never going to happen.
No. And
they should dump that property right now while they're going to get top dollar before this bubble bursts and they ain't going to get nothing.
Well, and they just started that new company that's just just Cody and Robin, and their kids are like the beneficiaries.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I think Janelle is already living with Christine. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
At least, or maybe she's parked a trailer in her driveway, and
because nobody's saying anything about the trailer. I read it's in storage, that she put it in storage.
Well, they all just went on vacation together. All of Christine's kids, all of Janelle's kids, Janelle and Christine. McKelty went, and Madison went because they took pictures of them. They all went to Hawaii. Then they went to North Carolina back to Madison's house. There's definitely a huge separation, and in my opinion, it's exactly what Cody wants. I did see yesterday on Robin's Instagram, which she hasn't updated in months. But somebody said, I heard a rumor that Cody took a fifth wife. Is it true? Please confirm or deny. And Robin hasn't posted like an independent post in months, but she sure was quick to answer that. And she's like, not true. No new wife. I was like,
I'm the favorite. Leave me alone.
right?
Yeah, Valerie, you can go pay $6,000 to spend 3 days with Mary. Or you can spend $4,000, get a house next to her house.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and I looked on her site, and even just to stay there, she charges, I think the most expensive was $300 or $350 a night. And I'm like, for what?
I mean, that's not bad if it's like room and board and like activities and like food included. That's about what it is for a bed and breakfast. But that bed and breakfast is in the middle of nowhere.
That's what I was going to say. Like, what else is there to do other than eat breakfast with Mary?
Right. I mean, literally, like the retreat in my eyes is Mary walking out in a new LuLaRoe outfit every 10 minutes. Isn't it cute? I touched it. Do you want to buy it? And then singing Kumbaya around the fire while she looks at a magic hat trying to figure out how everybody's going to pay for this crap. Like,
Well, because you notice on the website, it doesn't really say what activities. Just you're going to get to do activities with Mary, but it doesn't say what they are.
No. We're going to go to Walmart and grocery shop for the whole bed and breakfast, guys. I'm going to teach you how to feed a family of 37.
Well, and it doesn't even say what food she's offering. So, and she's only for the retreat. It's only, I think she said 2 nights of dinner, 1 breakfast.
Yeah, it's not even food for the whole retreat.
Yeah, so I'm like,
you can still order the food. They just want you to pay separately. That's what it is. Because you can eat at the restaurant within the B&B.
Yeah.
No, but she's talking about what's included for the $6,000. For $6,000, I better get meals all 3 days.
And they better be good. I don't want to eat like frozen chicken fingers from her.
Right. And then it even says you may have to share your room. I'm like, you've got to be kidding
me. Yeah, can you imagine? Let's sit up all night and paint each other's toenails and talk about sister wives. I mean...
Well, that's probably what she's thinking. She probably thinks everyone is so interested to talk to her because they think she'll spill all this tea. And all she does is she'll say, don't believe what you see on TV. That's all she ever says.
Yeah. See, I get so irritated with her vague posts. And she does that shit on purpose. You know she does.
Yeah.
Those
it's always a tease. Like
she's quoted in all the papers and...
Well, and that's why people are thinking she's writing a book because she said in that post she's tired of being silent and wants to stop hiding stuff. So that's why I was like, oh, is she writing a book? Like, no, she's just going to do weird Facebook or Instagram post.
Yeah. She knows that people wanted to leave him and she's just going to go to one of her lives. She's got this little tribe of like these sycophant women who are like, Mary, you're the prettiest. No, your tan's not too much. You're the best wife. No, it's okay that your tooth is yellow. Nobody's judging you. I'm not kidding. They say this stuff.
Oh, you're too much.
I'm just mean.
Oh my God.
Her hair's been crazy this season too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
some crazy
80s.
Hair.
It's like somewhat semi 80s, like half 80s, half I don't know. But
not that I have great hair, but dang, I was just like, what?
Well, remember when Mariah said, Mom, why do you draw on your eyebrows so thin? And she's still done it the same way ever since.
Yeah, but they're not as thin as they were then. She barely had them.
Yeah.
They were pencil thin. I was like, dang.
Like, Mom, why do you do that? Oh, damn.
I don't remember who. I think it was honestly KJ, and I hate to say it. I'm going to quote her, but it's true. Mary traded one cult for another with the LuLaRoe stuff. She really did.
Well, yeah, and LuLaRoe's ran by Mormons, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
Well, then she said the Lula Rich was all propaganda and it was all fake.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Listen, I'm shocked LuLaRoe made it out of that without having to go bankrupt. I really am.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure they were going down.
Well, how are
I
they?
think everybody else did too. I think all the banks that lent him money thought they were going down.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and my thing is, why do people spend that much money on the crappy stuff? And then I really think why Mary does so well is because when people buy directly from her, they feel like, I talked to a celebrity. Mary sent these directly from her house to my house. I'm so
Yeah.
curious. I'm like,
That's why she does as well as she does. It's not that way for literally anybody who's unknown,
yeah.
or you know,
Well, and
she sends a lot of like
they
treats
make
and stuff
most of
with
their
her
money
stuff.
though recruiting other people. That's where the real
Yes.
money is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
And
look
if you're
at
famous, it's easy to recruit.
if you go on Facebook, there's an astronomical amount of women just doing groups just to get rid of their stuff. Like, I'll sell it to you for $1. I just want it out of my house. And there's so many because
I don't know anybody local here that sells it anymore. They all did, like you're saying, sales for like, $10 and you can have all of it.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. They're just
Well,
so
because
desperate to get it out.
the way the MLM is set up, which MLM is very much a Mormon culture thing too, because they have that women, you have to stay home and be wives, but you can still contribute, so it works for them. But the difference between a lot of companies and LuLaRoe is there's no there's no catalog where you can order. You can go to their website and they'll connect you with a retailer in your area, or if you're looking for a specific item, you can search that way. But I had a girlfriend who did it, and she spent about $12,000 total to get into it and to buy stock. And they really push, they're like, don't just buy this, this, and this, so you can sell
They
more and
tell them
sell
to go
stuff.
in debt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're like, just put
And
it on your credit card.
she ended up doing the same thing. She ended up selling everything for pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. It puts these women in such a bad spot. They go in debt. They can't get back out. It's horrible.
And then they're stuck with ugly clothes that nobody wants.
Cheaply made ugly clothes,
because I was like, you can get cute patterned leggings and shirts for next to nothing at other outlets. So it's like, why do you have to go through them?
I wish Janelle and Christine would get out of these MLMs, but it's their culture and it's so drilled into them. And
I'm waiting for the Jill Rodriguez, Janelle Christine meetup because they're all plexus babies.
No.
Madison does it too.
Yeah.
And on their Instagrams, whenever they post about plexus, they turn the comments off.
Yep, they do.
So it's like you're obviously getting a lot of hate when you post about it. So why do it?
Yeah, and I didn't even know plexus was a big deal anymore. It was big a few years back.
Yeah.
But I was shocked that they would pick that. I was like, ugh.
Well, they're telling you this drink is supposed to cure all these health problems, and it's like, I don't think so.
No. I remember a friend of mine trying to sell it to me, and I always use my blood pressure as an out. I go, well, you probably can't take it if you have high blood pressure. And she looked, and sure enough, it says, if you have high blood pressure, you shouldn't drink this.
I was going to say, she's like, oh, no, you can. It doesn't matter. You'll be fine.
It'll help.
It's the best thing ever.
Although I will say Christine looks better now than she has ever.
Yeah.
Oh, so does Janelle. Janelle's looking great, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because they're both away. They're both
exactly. They've left.
Because they got the hell out of there. So what do you guys think Mary's going to end up doing? Is she ever going to just leave?
No. Mary's too indoctrinated. She thinks she has to stay in order to get to heaven.
Yeah, but she didn't think that when she thought she had another man. She didn't care about that heaven stuff when she thought she had this good-looking rich man.
Well, it's weird. She goes back and forth because she was telling that other girl, I forget her name, but she's like, at one point, I really did consider leaving. And then another clip, she says, I was never going to leave.
Yeah.
So which was it? I just hate that she turned it into, I was
But the other guy supposedly had good money, though, remember?
Yeah. And I hate it.
Yeah, that's what she thought he was rich.
Yep.
She turned it into, well, it didn't work out, so I'm a victim.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you were trying to have an affair. It really went south, and it is what it is.
There's banana photographic proof that she was definitely entertaining some stuff.
Oh my
I
God.
think that too, Stacy, I think that whole thing beat her down so bad, and I think she lost her confidence. And
Well, and Cody too. It's like
Uh-huh.
I bet he makes her feel like she's not worthy of love because she made a mistake.
at some point you just got to move on. You can't keep
Yeah.
being the whipping girl. I think what she did was totally wrong, but I
Yeah.
get why she did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think she should have gone ahead and left because she should have known it was never. It's one of those things you could never take back. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, once Cody heard those voicemails of her talking sexy with him and the pictures of her in the bathtub and the banana, there was no going back.
And that's when his whole tone changed. Because like when they
Yes.
first found out about it,
Yeah, he
was
wasn't
the
that
tell-off
upset.
on that. No, he wasn't. He was like, I understand. I love Mary. We're working on a relationship. And then all that stuff came out because Sam Cooper decided to release it all. Oof, I'm telling you what. He was
I
like,
think it's so funny that one account on TikTok is releasing all the videos of Kendra talking to the catfish on the phone.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
Y'all got to go look at that. It's pretty funny. But that's what somebody in the chat was saying. Who was it said that they think Kendra and Robin were setting some of that up? That rumor's been
I've heard
around for a
that.
long time.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, and Cody thinks that Robin, like, if you look back, he says very early on about her that she's a prophetess and that she's the emotional pulse of the family. I'm sorry. No, she's not that innocent. She knew what she was doing. She can act upset all she wants. I think Robin masterminded the whole thing and she's getting exactly what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. They think her
Especially,
and Kendra set that up.
and she never lived polygamy. Yeah, she grew up in it, but she never lived polygamy before. And she was the daughter of the first wife. So she's never had to deal with the secrecy or the pain or anything like that. Her mom was number one. Her father could own her publicly, even though technically it's her stepdad. Yeah, I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think she saw some cracks and she was able to like infiltrate and do whatever.
Cody wants to think he's the most handsome man, and how dare she not want him? But he's a narcissist, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird how she says, oh, well, when he's fighting with other wives, it makes him miserable at our house and we have to deal with it. Like, oh, boy, you like the monogamy. You just won't admit it.
Right. She's like,
I got
Mary
so
made you feel
mad
bad?
with what she said about the trailer. They keep calling it a trailer. I call it an RV.
Yeah.
But when Robin said she was like really putting Janelle down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, she came from a trailer too. She was living in a trailer.
Yeah.
Yes. Cody says in that episode, he's like, well, why would I stay in this little tiny trailer with you where there's no room to breathe when I could go live at Robin's house, which is like, he doesn't say Robin's, but we know whose house he's talking about. He's like, when I could go live in the big mansion like house. I don't know, Cody. Maybe because when you lived in a 3-bedroom trailer with your 3 wives, they all stuck it out with you.
Yeah.
And your miserable self.
Exactly.
No.
I was like having none of Robin acting like she's above everybody. No, ma'am.
Well, she said, I can never live in a trailer, and was laughing, but then she adds on, it just wouldn't fit my 5 kids. Like, even if you had no kids, you wouldn't live in it because you're used to your little cozy mansion.
But see, that's the thing I don't get either. I keep going back to this. How in the hell did they qualify for these houses in Flagstaff? How did that happen?
Yeah. Especially that one.
They've been taking out loans to pay off, other stuff. And it's just, my biggest thing, here's my petty moment. Okay? I just can't help it. When they started My Sister Wives Closet, you don't want to share clothes. Come on now. They all had their own special piece of jewelry that Cody designed for them. And Mary's was the fidelity sign because she's so loyal. And I'm like, did they know at that point that she was sneaking around? Did Robin let it go? I was like, oh, Cody, yes, that's a perfect design. Mary's always going to be faithful to you. I'm like, nobody bought that.
I want to know too what business her and Cody are doing now. And why is it so super secret?
I heard it's a production company. I don't know if that's true. That's just the snark.
Oh, Belinda said she was in Kendra's Facebook group. Belinda,
Oh.
tell us everything.
You come up,
You
Belinda.
drop a
Tell us
bomb
all
like
about it.
that.
Well, did you notice next week because you know how he's been giving Christine so much heat and says he's not attracted to her anymore because she's been traveling? And then his ass is going to a wedding in Texas.
Yeah, I saw that. The
Like,
preview.
are you kidding me? You
Yeah, it's fine when it's something he wants to do.
he I don't know how he lands all these women because he's just impossible.
I mean,
Just
if you look
saying,
at
I
their
wondered
other
that too.
options, if you look at their other options within the church, he's a god among men. Tongue in cheek, but truthfully.
Hey, if he's the best, I'd hate to see the worst.
I can send you pictures, bro. Let me tell you.
They all talk about in the book how when he was younger, all the girls wanted him. That's yeah, I guess in that community, he was the cat's meow.
I mean,
I mean,
he
it
was
was
not a bad looking guy. I hate his stupid perm now, but back
His
then,
personality, though, is what kills it for me.
yeah, exactly. Just he's so self-righteous all the time, and I'm just like, oh, I would have been gone forever ago. Especially when he wouldn't go to Isabel's surgery, and he said, "Why don't you just go by yourself?" I would have lost.
that was sick.
I would have lost my mind. And if I was Christine, I would have gone there and been like, well, if it was Aurora or Brianna, you would be right there holding their hand the whole time.
Right. Will you pull up Bossy's comment so I can explain that to her? He said he was defrocked because a wife left them. So, Bossy, what that means, in the LDS and the other kinds of Mormon churches, the husband is the head of not only their family, but also their faith system. So each man is bestowed two kinds of priesthood: the Aaronic priesthood, which is the first, and the Melchizedek, I'm not going to say it right, the Melchizedek priesthood. The two levels of priesthood. It's exactly like being a pastor or like being a priest in any other religion. So you can get the Aaronic, which is the first level of priesthood with one or two wives. Subsequent wives, depending on your behavior, elevate you to the Melchizedek priesthood. And because Christine left and he failed at that marriage, which marriage is like their number one sacrament, he technically within the AUB would be defrocked from that second level of priesthood. So he'd be knocked down to the first level of priesthood.
Hey, Belinda, I put the link in there if you want to come on the mic. If you feel comfortable.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, has Mary even gotten wind of this? That her buddy was probably a big part of that?
Oh, was Kendra buddies with Mary?
No, I'm saying, is Mary aware that Robin was supposedly?
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Robin was probably like, listen, I have found out all this stuff, and you better this, and you better. I think that's when Mary toes the line and kisses butt. I know that you guys say she would leave, and part of me at some point believes, yes, she would have, but I think also, like, I think at this point she's so beat down that she thinks if she leaves, she has no chance of getting into heaven. And Mary is, if nothing else, very sentimental and family oriented when it comes to her family. So she desperately wants to go to heaven so that she can see her mom and her dad and her sister again.
Mm-hmm.
Valerie, Christine did sell that house. From what I saw, she gets to keep the money from the house and he gets the Coyote Pass property.
Yeah.
He wanted the money from her house to go to Coyote Pass.
I know that they're going to show that in the next show. That is crazy.
It's like the delusion is real with that man.
I would have had to kill him when he said that to her. I would have just lost it.
Yeah. It's like, why would I fund your pipe dream when I'm trying to leave you?
And that's probably why he was really crapping out, because he's always trusted Christine with money because she's always spent the least because she was the home wife. So like she would take it up, they would shop for groceries and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, as far as like buying things, she didn't require like the extra clothes for a job. She didn't require Mary likes to shop and she likes to buy stuff and decorate, and Christine was never like into all that. She was fine with hand-me-downs.
Mhm.
So part of me wonders, maybe not as much recently, but part of me wonders if like he didn't do a lot of his money savings with Christine. So like, hey Christine, I'm going to give you $1,000 check to put away into the savings. Well, it's in her name and they're not legally married. If she leaves, hopefully she's got a good conscience, because
I think she was a fool though for not having that land reappraised before she agreed to give it.
yes.
Yeah.
That was foolish. But I get so upset because women in general, and I hate to say this, but in general, women do that when they just want out. They'll
Mhm.
be like, you take everything, I just want out.
Yeah.
And they're fools for doing it. Don't ever do that.
Mhm.
She should have at least got an appraisal, because I guarantee you that land's gone up a lot.
Well, I
Yeah.
wonder about, like, Christine has 3 more daughters to get married, right? Who's going to
Mhm.
pay for those weddings? Is Cody going to step up and help pay for
See,
those
I was
weddings?
wondering that too, and like
Probably not.
graduations and weddings and
College. I mean, she's a single mom. The college thing will be a little easier for the kids now. But like, even Isabel went to a community college, like where she moved across to North Carolina to be with Madison. Um, the college she decided to go to there is a community school. So, she's getting in-state tuition. So she's not paying as much. And as a child of a single mother on paper, she probably got with 6 kids, she probably got a decent amount of financial aid.
Yeah.
Christine's got a good point here. I don't get why they want to spend eternity together when they don't really like each other on earth.
Because they get to be gods, baby. If you get to be a god, it's all worth it.
Well, do you remember too when Isabel needed her surgery? Christine was fundraising on
Uh-huh.
Facebook,
That
and
was so sad that she had to do that.
she needed like 50 grand, I think. So she
Yeah.
was fundraising for it. So, and I'm like, where's Cody's like trying to help her with this? Is he, or is he just like, I'm staying out of it because I don't want her to do it?
No, he stayed out of it. He didn't contribute. Like, he
Ugh.
has his health insurance is only on Robin's kids.
Yep.
Janelle worked, so she had some, and Janelle bought into Cobra. Do they still call it Cobra? I'm so old, I don't even know anymore. They call it Cobra when you leave a job.
Yeah.
She got Cobra for her remaining kids. But Christine didn't have. I mean, can you imagine though having 6 kids and not having health insurance?
No.
Because you just don't. When a kid, especially where they live, I mean, kids are klutzy and all those mountains and all that terrain. Can you imagine even a rattlesnake bite or something? The
Yeah.
bills would just rack up. It would just,
Mhm.
I thought it was really telling when Janelle said, when her and Cody left to go pick up the RV, and she said, oh, we got to hurry and get back because he doesn't want to be away from Robin's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could see the cracks. That's the cracks right
Mhm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, they're being open with it, but also the older kids are like,
Oh, yeah.
Gabriel, mostly Janelle's kids. It seems like they're just over it and tired of acting like, oh, they love Robin. Everybody loves Robin. It's like, no, she's been the favorite since the moment she walked in that door. And then they had an 11-day honeymoon. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's too much. When you got other wives and kids at home, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, and he had a newborn baby at home, like
Right.
all those other kids. 11 days. Have you even heard of such a thing? And it wasn't even like a legal marriage either. So it's like, why the big hoopla over it?
No, and I know the other wives were resentful of that too.
And he wonders when he says Christine didn't, embrace Robin's kids. I disagree. I thought she was loving on them.
She sent
too. I thought they
McKelty
all
to
were.
go. She sent McKelty to go live with Robin to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
And why can Robin never take care of her own kids?
Right.
Why does she need all this help?
Ridiculous.
What does the nanny do?
What does the nanny do?
Well, it's true because I'm like, okay, if I'm assuming Robin's stay-at-home mom, 3 of her 5 kids are, I think they're all adults now.
Well, they do real estate now.
They do?
Yep.
Oh.
Who does real estate?
Robin and Cody.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never heard that.
Yep,
Oh,
they advertise on her Instagram when
I
she's
didn't know
using
that.
it.
Because last I checked, she hadn't updated in so long because she gets so much hate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, she's got 3 old kids and old enough to take care of themselves. So she's got the 2. Why does she need a nanny so bad?
I
Yeah.
know, 2 kids. And look at Christine taking care of all those kids by herself.
Yeah, by herself
Yes.
while pregnant, while, you know.
They had, what, 7 or 8 under the age of 10 at one time.
Oh my
And
God. I can't
Mary
even
and Cody
imagine.
and Janelle were all working out of the house. And
Mhm.
Christine worked during that time, actually. Christine worked at night. So Christine had a little part-time job at night that she went to. Plus she raised and homeschooled all the kids when they were like I said, 8 under 10.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine.
No
I
way.
still wonder about this Flagstaff thing, though. I think that there's got to be more to it than just Dayton was going to college there. There's something else to it.
Well, the
I
fact
don't
that
know.
he was like, we're going whether you like it or not, like he was so gung ho on it. And at the time, ironically, Christine seemed the only one on board with it.
Yeah.
Like the kids didn't want to go, the other wives didn't want to go. Like,
And they didn't. It's not like he was like, we're going. We found a great place to live with 4 houses close
yeah,
together. There were no houses. And he said in it, I just watched the episode the other day where he was like, he said, Las Vegas is getting a little rough, and I don't know if I want to raise the younger kids here. And I'm like, how much rougher can it get in a cul-de-sac in a 5-year time period?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well, and remember, he told them they were going to save all this money moving to Flagstaff, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No.
The cost of living there is so much higher than Vegas.
Yeah.
And there's limited housing. Like, it's not like a happening city.
No, and there's a lot of crime. You know, when we went and visited there, they got signs everywhere about be careful after dark, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of crime in Flagstaff.
And a lot of people go there to retire, like not really to raise their families, unless you're living way up in the mountains.
Well,
I mean,
that's like him saying he wants to build 5 houses and rent out 2. Listen, asshole, you can't even get 1 house built,
right.
and you're talking about 5? Stop it.
I'm wondering if it's a legal thing, because we know that he fled Utah because of a legal thing. Although I don't fully buy that, because it would have been if the Utah DA had actually pressed charges on him, I feel like it would have been worse for the local government because of the show and its popularity and whatnot. Plus, like I said, the Darkers live down the road and they haven't left. They're still there. There's more polygamists in Utah than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And they're more and more coming out. They're not afraid to be who they are. It's not even that much of a secret anymore.
Mhm.
So it's like, I feel like the move to Vegas was for the show.
I think it was all for the show.
And I wonder what the Flagstaff move is about, really, because I don't think we've heard the truth.
I don't either. I've always said that there was some other reason he wanted to get out of Vegas and get to Flagstaff so quick, and it was so quick and so rushed.
Yeah, within 3 months.
And I know a lot
wonder-
of people say it was the balloon notes coming due on the Vegas houses, but that can't be it either, because they still spent way more trying to go to Flagstaff.
Well, and they didn't know they were going to sell them, so they were going to have to pay it one way or another if they didn't get them sold in that market, no less. But like, my thing is like, I've heard that the rumor is a production company. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard the rumor is a production company, and I wonder, like you were talking about John and Kate Plessé, I'm wondering about the laws tied to like production companies and entertainment, because like Georgia, for example, has made itself like little Hollywood. So a lot of movies and stuff are now shot in Georgia, because like California versus Georgia for like, you know, costs of producing and filming and, you know, staffing a movie set are so vastly different that like so many shows are now shot in Georgia. So I'm looking at that with Las Vegas versus Flagstaff, and I'm wondering like, you know, what's the tax situation going on? What's there's just something, I'm sure it's got to do with money.
It's got to, there's something we're all missing. I wish I could figure it out. I keep, researching and look because
And
I'm
even the kids don't know. Because remember, Aspen's like, I don't know why they're moving. They're acting like
Yeah.
they're scared and running. She literally says that.
But
Mhm.
yeah, and she said to Christine or somebody, "What are you running from? Why are you constantly running?"
Yeah.
And that's so true.
Yeah, because even before the show, weren't they moving like every 5 years?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And their church believes in a thing called blood atonement. They do believe in it still to this day. It's a real thing where the only way to make up for some sins is to shed blood, literally. So, like, for example, Christine leaving Cody. The only way within her church for her to redeem that is blood atonement. She's better off dead than divorcing him. Literally what their church believes. They can say what they want about it being a woman's choice and blah, 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 whatever. And remember, people take faith very seriously when it comes to eternity in one way or another.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if there's not something, because they kind of have a hard relationship with the church now. I'm wondering if there's not something going on within the church and they're scared of something there. I also have heard that Robin's husband has threatened to write a tell-all.
Ooh,
Mhm.
I would
His
read
ND-
that.
his NDA just ended.
Oh, snap.
Valerie and Stina are saying they moved for Dayton. I know everybody says that they moved because Dayton was going to college there, but I think there's more to it.
Yeah, that was probably like where the idea came from initially, and then
Yeah.
it just snowballed from
That
there.
might have been a small part of it, but to move that many people and it's like Bossy was saying, can you imagine what the cost of that move was?
No.
Yes, God
Move that
Almighty.
many people and that many trailers, and oh my gosh, that was some big money right there.
Well, just the stress of it all, and then plus
Mhm.
figuring out like how to feed everyone because you're just go all the time. And
Yeah, Valerie, Christine said she did leave the church.
Yeah, she's done.
She's done. She's out.
yeah.
Which I always kind of thought was going to happen when her mom left the church.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because, she's so close with her mom, and her mom's got a big influence on her life.
Yeah.
Now, I know Cody sells guns too, right? That's supposed to be how he's been making his money, is selling
Well, he
guns.
does, and I also wonder because Flagstaff versus Vegas. Vegas is a pretty red area, but they're liberal when it comes to like gun violence and stuff because of things they've experienced there. And when I mean liberal, I mean left leaning, not like free. Whereas Flagstaff is much more of a red NRA embracing area.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's like somebody on TikTok said the financially responsible thing to do would have been to buy the property and then stay in the houses in Vegas until the property was paid
Yeah.
for.
right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what responsible people do.
And it was such a rush. It was we're going in 30 days. We have no choice. They were doing Aspen's wedding.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm gonna get married, and 3 days later, you guys are literally like packing up
and
and
going.
moving. And she said if it was about being close to St. George, Vegas is closer. So that makes no
Yeah.
sense whatsoever. There's no family out there. Like she said there's something going on, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't make any sense
But
whatsoever.
there's something we're missing. I wish we could figure it out, but there was something else. There's some other reason why they moved.
Well, and it was so sad seeing all the kids have to get heartbroken all over again because that's what happened to the ones in Utah.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you want to keep putting your kids through that? Especially when, because, okay, they can say, oh, Utah, we had to leave, but they didn't have to leave Vegas.
Yeah. I don't think they had to leave Utah either, but whatever.
Well, then I always wonder if they were living in Vegas still right now, like, would they still be in shambles as a family?
Right.
Because he would, like, well, everyone was already so far from each other, then COVID made it even worse. But I'm like, okay, if they were living right next door to each other, would they still have
Right.
seen each other more often?
Oh, well, just saying brings up a good point.
Yeah.
Robin and Cody wanted a chunk of the proceeds from each wife's home. That's why they moved under false pretenses.
Oh.
I don't know though, because Christine supposedly took all the money from the sale of her house and gave Cody the land. Which, like I said, if she didn't get that land appraised, she could have come out on the bad end.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
wonder
he like
why
care
Robin.
$10 for it?
Yeah, it was $10. She sold
Yeah,
it
that's
to them
why I
for.
think she just wanted out.
I'm
wanted
sure
to be
I'm
done.
sure he gave her more money than that though, because I think they just said $10 for
To transfer the title.
to transfer the
Yeah.
title and for there to be something taxable. Although the weird thing about it is, like, you can do, I guess it would be a lot more than $10,000, but as I say, you can do a $10,000 one-time donation to someone and avoid taxes. A transfer of whatever, but I think it's within families, and I know it's 10,000. If it's more than 10,000, then you have to pay taxes on it.
Oh, Miles said Christine's always been a phony. We love Christine.
Yeah.
No, I think Christine's been I think she's woken up in the process.
She's been the
I
most
think
real.
if she was
if you go
phony
back
in the
on
beginning,
show,
she believed it.
she's been saying how bad her and Cody's marriage was for years.
Yeah.
I think she just hit it really well. And maybe a lot for the kids too.
I think that she was pregnant, and so she maybe blamed some feelings on the pregnancy when he first started like courting Robin, and maybe he convinced her, like, you're pregnant, so your hormones are a little out of whack, and you're not really that upset. You just think, and then she had a brand new baby, and that was a distraction for a little while, and then when the smoke cleared, as they say, she was like, oh hell no. She wasn't the sweet soft spot anymore. She wasn't the celebrated peacemaker anymore. Robin was. So I think she felt replaced, and I think that when he's the phony comment, I think she was phony, but I think she believed it. So she didn't know that it was phony. I think she's just woken up.
Yeah, I think maybe just denial a little bit.
Listen, I used to feel bad for Robin because she got picked on by the fans so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But now we see it was all true.
Mm-hmm.
Is the favorite wife. There's no doubt.
Well, even the kids are coming out and saying it too.
That's what I mean.
My dad
those kids aren't lying.
Yeah. It's like, I trust them more than what Cody and Robin would say.
Because I did used to think Robin got the bad end of the stick, but now I'm like, no.
Miles says, I don't think Robin is bad. She just follows rules. Miles, honey, Robin makes the rules. Of course she follows them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember, that's what Christine and Janelle said about the whole COVID thing. They were hinting that, she says it's Cody, but it's her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Robin's rules.
Robin just wanted it out there. Like, this is not me. This is him. I'm just following it so my kids can see their dad.
Yeah.
Like, he would see them regardless. Just stop.
Yeah.
And he uses the excuse, because they're younger. It's like, you had 15, how many other kids that, didn't get to see him as often because he was off with whoever. So it's just an excuse.
He didn't go see Janelle's kids when she left him for a year. He saw him a couple times.
When did she leave him for a year?
Logan was like 8 or 9.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she bought her own house, bought her own car. She totally left him.
Gone.
She was done.
Well, and part of her going back is because they were in financial shambles again.
Yep.
So she had to go back and save their ass.
Oh, geez.
And her kids wanted their dad.
Stina, I've been wondering this. I've been saying this. How did Mariah Leo was never a part of this season, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that would have been part of the season because that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, they did have the other daughter come out as bisexual. But
well, I'm wondering because they, like we were talking about, they film a year. It's like they're a year behind.
Right.
So it drives me and Carly nuts.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if, had she not come out yet?
Time? I don't think so.
Maybe that's
this
why.
Christine left Cody last September, end of August, beginning of last September, so we're literally almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't come out until 5 months ago.
I was thinking it was longer.
Audrey / I'm terrible. I can't remember Audrey's the dead name. I apologize. Mariah's partner used to be Audrey. She's been out longer. He's been out longer. He's been out now for about a year and a half. He just had top surgery.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think they're just not caught up yet with how they do the show. Is so stupid, but
Yeah.
maybe next season they'll bring it up.
Yeah, they have to sign contracts, so their social media is monitored, and they cannot tell anything ahead of time because one of the Slayton sisters got in trouble for that, and almost.
Yeah, but I was mad because Cody used to live tweet during the show,
Yeah,
and now
No,
he doesn't
that's-
tweet or anything.
it's
God, I used to
terrible.
have so much fun with it.
because everybody hates him.
I know what he's reading on
I-
my phone, Carly.
when he said, "All the sacrifices I made to love you," I wanted to kick him
Oh,
as hard
yeah.
as I could. I wanted to be like, "How dare you
Mm-hmm.
say such?"
I wonder
That's
too, just saying,
disgusting.
do you guys think there'll be another season?
Oh,
Yes, Christine
Yeah.
just did an interview talking about it.
yeah, for sure. Because
They asked her if she was going to leave the show, and she said no. That she, if the show is about their family, and she's still a member of their family,
Who
so
said
she
that?
won't leave the show. Christine.
I think the fans want to hear more from her anyway than anyone else.
We all want her and Janelle to have a spinoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let Cody and Robin go off into the sunset together. We want to see the other wives. Just make it a show about them leaving polygamy, like plot twist,
Right.
leaving sister wives.
Bossy, she lived in a teepee between her mom marrying her Cody's dad, and
Cody was married to Mary.
Cody's married to Mary, but Janelle lived in the teepee
Right.
on Wynn's land when Wynn was married to her mom, but before she married Cody. It was during her
Right.
divorce.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Well, then I wonder if Janelle has some resentment, like, wow, I have no place to live. I'm having to resort to an RV while Robin and all her kids are in literally a mansion.
I think it was a power play. I think it was Janelle being like, "Screw you, I'm sick of waiting around. I'm doing this now."
Yeah. And then
And I don't
for
think
Cody
Janelle
to
will
say,
sell anything for $10. I think she's gonna rake him over the coals.
yeah, for him to say, I don't want to live in the misery or whatever, your decisions. Like, don't they do that every day with your decisions?
Right?
Flagstaff was his decision, not theirs.
I will say that's the first time I've seen Janelle make such a snap decision. I think she probably regretted it, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Well, I don't understand, like, money-wise, because Christine offered her house to Janelle.
Yeah.
I
And
know.
She owned
She
that
should have
house
taken
outright.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or even bought the rental she was staying in.
Yeah.
Or she could have bought it to live in, but then maybe had Garrison or Gabriel take over it from her.
Well, Gabriel,
Yeah, Miles, I heard
one
it
of
was
them-
in storage too.
one of
I
them
really
has.
think Janelle is living with Christine. I really do.
Yeah. I think Janelle did it so she could I think she's planning on leaving. I think this is her. I think she's already left, but I think this is her where we see her buy the RV. I think this is her planning on leaving.
Yeah, I thought she really felt like she was going to build that casita, the garage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Poor thing. She really thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, when we watch it now, and she's like, "Oh, I think I'll be building in a year," and we're like, "No, you won't."
No, girl.
We're in
no.
the future. We know you won't. 'Cause I read an article the other day saying that fans think the RV was her way to leave quietly because she'd be away from them. But if the RV was gone, Cody may be like, "Oh, she probably took it to go camping or did something." Like he wouldn't even realize. Like
He
she's
wouldn't even
gone.
know.
Yeah.
And can we all praise her for picking the dogs over Cody?
Oh my God.
Yes.
She's like the dogs, the kids. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, she even said that another time or I think it was when he wanted to kick the boys out. And she's like, "No, I'm going to choose my boys. You're never here. Why would I kick them out when you're never here?"
Well, I think Garrison got himself a travel trailer because he actually built a house. Subsequently, he has now built a house.
Mhm.
But he had a trailer. She says in like the latest, not the very latest episode, but the one before, that he was going to bring his trailer out to Coyote Pass as well. And then the other son was going to like get an apartment in town or something and kind of stay with Gabriel was going to stay with Garrison sometimes. And then also look for an apartment in town or something like that. Because like that's like you just pointed out, she wouldn't move the boys out for Cody's sake. But when she was like ready to go and she had that RV, her kids were already ready with a plan of where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bossy,
So,
generally banks won't lend money to build unless the property's paid off.
yeah.
You have to have your land paid for, and then you can get a construction loan.
Are those all 4 separate loans or 5 separate loans? Because it's 5, or do they buy? Like, I wonder how they actually got it.
Because they bought it for one lump sum. So, and see, that's why they keep talking about changing whose lot is whose, because it was never really done yet.
Yeah, I wonder how they parcel it out. How it's because Janelle says, "I've been scrimping and saving my money, and I almost have enough to start building." So I wonder how, like, if it's. And was the land cleared when they bought it? Because if you like, I don't know about out there, but I know like my cousin lives in North Carolina. She bought a plot of land off of her and her husband bought a piece of land off their in-laws, off of his parents. And they had a company come out that cleared the land, and they sold the timber to that company and made money off of it.
Well, I think the way they had it picked out, they weren't going to clear anything. But their biggest problem right now is utilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the big, because that's going to cost a fortune.
Oh my God, I know.
They
It
don't
stops at the end of the road right above them, and there's zoning and all that.
Yeah, and depending on where they put those houses on the land, the further you go back, the more it's going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially with water and waste and having to run. Like if it's a well and septic, that's one thing. If they're going to bring the city water out there. Oof.
Remember Cody didn't know you had to pay to have it brought to you?
That's so.
I was like, who buys land and doesn't know you have to pay to put the utilities on it? Who doesn't know that?
Because didn't they have to do that in Vegas too?
Yeah.
Well, that would be different though, because
But it was wrapped up in a package.
Yeah, that was a builder's thing where you just tell the builder what house you want on that lot.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy when Christine said, "Why don't we sell the land and just move to Utah?" And everyone's like, "No, no, no." And it's like, you're not going to build on it. You're just not.
Yes, Tina, the land's still sitting empty. I don't think anything's been done.
Yeah,
well, and I just wonder how much money Cody wasted. And I get it that it's beautiful and it was his dream, but like he knew already it wasn't going to happen. But how much money did he pay that woman to make up those plans and then turn it into that digital format? Like that's what that woman does full time for a living. She designs homes and does, architecture. So like architects make a good amount of money.
Yeah, but she might have gave him a good deal to be on the show.
Possibly, yeah. Well, the show could have paid for it. That's the other thing. When they were like having to flee Utah, they would have had the power of TLC behind them. TLC would have helped legally.
Yeah, well, and that's like TLC paid for him and Robin's wedding, and who's McKelty's husband did that joke about TLC paying for the wedding. Did you guys get that?
He said take a loan out against the house when they were talking about, we're just
because Cody and Mary took a loan out for their wedding when they got married.
Yeah, but somebody said he was digging at Cody because that TLC actually paid for McKelty and his wedding too.
Yeah, they did. McKelty and Tony got help from TLC. But the big joke was because when Mary and Cody got married, they took out a loan to pay for their wedding. And so he
Did
thought,
they even have an elaborate wedding?
Oh, they had the most elaborate wedding.
Because Robin's was pretty nice too.
Yeah, Mary's was big too.
Janelle and Christine got nothing.
I thought it was so odd that they all wore black to that for Janelle's wedding. Like it just the photos look so doom and gloom.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a deep burgundy. It wasn't black.
No, it was black. She wore a black dress.
Who did?
Family, Janelle.
I don't remember it being black.
Yeah,
her whole family shunned her because they are mainstream LDS. So the only family members that Janelle had at the wedding were her mom, Cody's dad, Cody's mom. The second wife had already left the family, Cody's second mom. So she was already long gone. And then some of Mary's family came, but they were kind of weird because she was just married to Cody's brother a year and a half beforehand. They still loved her, and Cody's brother, I guess, is kind of he's kind of the black sheep of the family. So she didn't have this big elaborate wedding whatsoever. And then for Christine's wedding, Cody said, okay, we're going to get married. This is the day we're going to get married if I can get off work. Went to work, couldn't get the day off work. So Christine had already like sent out invitations to like her friends and family. So Cody literally walked in to the church from work to marry Christine.
Yeah, it was like nothing.
Yeah.
Like just another day.
Could you imagine?
That's so sad.
They had gone on one date.
Yeah, and unlike Robin, they had never kissed.
Yeah, their first kiss was at the altar. They said.
Yeah.
Like, if that's not arranged.
I know she says in the book that whole first year was horrible because she said, then it occurred to her, I just married a man I don't really know.
Yeah. They during a fundamentalist Mormon wedding, the other wives are involved in the actual ceremony. So they actually like there is a man who's an elder within the church who like does the ceremony, but the only other people at the ceremony will be the man getting married and maybe his parents, the woman marrying and maybe her parents. And then the other wives. And the other wives actually are involved. They come, I shouldn't disclose this, it's a big old secret, but whatever. Not my religion. With all due respect. They come up and put their hands over the couple's hands that are getting married. And they say, like, I accept this. I unite you into our family. I give my blessing. I recognize you as a spouse now. Because they are technically, as much as they don't want to say it, they are married to these other women, even though they don't have an intimate physical relationship.
Yeah.
They're still married.
Yeah.
So they do come in and like, you know, are involved and approved. And that's why kissing beforehand was such a big deal, because like out of respect for these women who are about to be your family and your spouse as well, you don't violate that physical parameter because you don't sleep with the married man. That's like a big thing. So
it's a respect thing for sure. That's why I said I felt so bad for Christine when he did that too on camera.
Mm-hmm.
What an asshole.
I sent you the wedding photos of her dress. And she was the only one that didn't wear white.
I don't know why I don't remember that. Maybe I blocked it out because I really like.
You probably thought it was like regular, like group photos.
Probably
not the wedding.
Well, I know that Janelle, like she said, the reason she married Cody was because she wanted someone who could, you know, again, she looks at the man in her family, her husband, as the priest. So it's literally the same reverence that you look at your pastor or your priest with. She wanted them to be the person to be like able to lead her children spiritually. It was an established family. She was friends with Mary. She was friends with Mary when she was married to Mary's brother. She was friends with Mary. They used to cut up and have a good time and go do stuff together before she and Cody courted for one date, 2 dates maybe, and then got married. So she probably thought it was a safe space. And Janelle has been very open about like how timid she was and how, you know, it was brand new to her. The religion was brand new. It was all very much lovey-dovey because her mom married Cody's dad, and they did have a great relationship. And outwardly, Cody's real mom, his birth mom, I should say, not real mom, but his birth mom had portrayed it as so loving and wonderful with Janelle's mom, which it wasn't. It was painful at times, as it would be. So I think Janelle thought she was coming into a safe space where she was going to be protected and nurtured. And then it was like, boom, don't put your cups up here.
Well, she said she felt like the third wheel. Like they were always cuddling and watching TV together and just totally ignored Janelle. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would feel horrible.
Yeah.
And then Mary was always mean to her about how she did things in the kitchen and how she cleaned. And then when she started having kids and Mary was mean to her kids, Mary was mean to everybody's kids.
Yeah, well, Mary was jealous. She couldn't have babies.
Except for Solomon and Robin's other kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that wasn't a competition anymore. I think that, you know, Mary very much looked at it as like, they believe that children are the greatest fortune a man can have. They're like the Duggars in that, like your quiver is full kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah,
So Mary couldn't give that to Cody. She felt like she was not as valuable.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, and he
Yeah, you should get that book, Bossy. It's a good read, especially reading it now and comparing it to what's going on right now. It's pretty fascinating. That's why I had to go back and reread it.
Yeah, and
You
I'm
might
wondering
want.
if the whole surrogacy thing was a storyline for the show too.
I never thought that was real.
Yeah, Mary did not seem into it at all.
No, I think it was just a storyline.
Yeah.
I think they were like, "Hey, Mary, you got no story this season. What are we going to do?" You know,
Yeah.
you got to have something going on.
Yeah.
Well, I think for Mary too, like the idea of somebody being pregnant with her and Cody's baby and it's not her, she wouldn't get that like sweet, loving, oh, you're pregnant. I'm so excited for you. She wouldn't be
Yeah.
special. And then Robin would continue to be the martyr of the family because she offered up her womb for Mary.
Yeah.
And then
She's
Mary would be stuck with the
selfless.
baby she was taking care of by herself. Cody would still be
Mhm.
stuck up Robin's butt. And if Mary ever decided to go anywhere, they'd be like, well, Robin carried the baby and it's half Cody. So you need to leave the baby with us. Like, I can see so many things.
See,
Mhm.
I don't think that Robin ever meant that either. I think again that was just for TV.
Yeah. She knew Mary wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I
It
mean
was
it's
just
easy to
very
offer when you know the other person's never going to take you up on it.
Yeah.
well, even when Cody was like, should we try for one more? She didn't seem into it. And
No, he
then all of
stopped
a
her dead in
sudden,
her tracks. You saw her
yeah,
face when
when
he
they
says
were on
it?
like their little couples trip or whatever,
Yeah.
she didn't seem into it at all. And
No,
then
the face she made was like,
like
woof, man. She was
I'm
not cool.
like, I thought we were done with that. And I did feel bad for Mariah though when they announced Robin was pregnant, and I think Mariah was like, why is my mom never going to be the pregnant one again? But
Well, to Mariah, the interview they did with her was she's like, I do have siblings and they are mine, but I
yeah.
wanted one of my own. Like, I wanted one that
Mhm.
was mine. And then there
Yeah,
is a
Mhm.
closeness between the full biological siblings that is not necessarily there, especially after the move to Vegas.
yeah.
Mhm. With the separate houses.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was way worse in Flagstaff because then they were really far apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
It will, at least with Vegas, it was like, okay, even though you're separate, but you're still right there. Like if when they'd say, oh, can you come over? Oh yeah, they just walk right over. If the kids wanted to hang out or do a holiday or dinner, it's like you're all right there. So I was like, that's actually a decent arrangement that I could live with if I was in that life. But I just can't believe they let this separation go on this long in Flagstaff because he did not
Well,
prepare. He did not plan. It was just, we're
they
moving.
are they were actually the anomaly within polygamy. Excuse me. Most polygamists, because they had to be so quiet about it. So Mary's generation, Cody's generation, um, they lived separately because a man living with several wives and children all under one roof, that would be a bigger red flag. And there was a raid in 1958 in Short Creek. It's Colorado City, Short Creek. You could cross the border between the two states. Um, it's a big long story. There's plenty of documentaries on it, but because of that raid, that was not just did it tick off all the polygamists, it was nationally promoted, reported on. So like people, East Coast people, Southern people, they all heard about it, and the government separated families like forever. So it was commonplace after that for a man to have a wife in one city and have a wife in a different city so they wouldn't be caught. Very few families actually cohabitated or lived very close together. Very often, wives were not called mom, mom, mom. They were mom and aunt and aunt and aunt. So they were doing it differently anyway. They've actually gone back to more of a traditional way of it being done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
Delilah, we were talking about that Big Love show. That's what led to Sister Wives.
mm-hmm.
There's actually a polygamous family that lives up the road from me. The wives all live in one giant house, and the husband lives about a mile up the road in his own little castle.
Yeah. Because
So
usually
where do
it's
the wives
illegal
go to his
too.
house?
No, I think he brings I think he brings one over whenever he rotates or whatever. I don't think he's ever in the big house with the wives and kids.
That's
Yeah.
kind of weird. I don't
They have
know.
their own lake. They like it's huge. Even for Christmas, they'll do like light displays, but they charge you to go through their gate and do it. So I
Oh
don't think
wow.
many people do, but yeah.
It's usually like bigamy nationally is actually holding a federal or state license of marriage, but depending on what state you're in, there's different kinds of like anti-polygamy laws. Like there's alienation of affection and da 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 whatever. Um, Utah is the only state with explicit polygamy laws, but like the biggest thing is cohabitation. So that's why most men won't cohabitate with more than one woman. I don't know why the polyamory
Yeah, but
people
they've
don't have
got
an
a lot
issue.
of the polygamous house like they lived in where their apartments
Mhm.
in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I mean, it does. It absolutely happens, but that's more modern versus what it used to be, and they're still not fully. The communities are not fully transitioned out of, like in the FLDS in Texas, the women all live in separate houses. The mother, or they live in they call it a basement wife. I know we've all heard that term now. There might be a basement wife is the newest wife who lives in the basement until she gets pregnant with a kid, but. It's very much just about like not getting in trouble with the way that they structure.
I do agree with Robin on one thing, though. I do think they sold her a bill of goods because she says that, when she said, I feel like they lied to me, that
Yeah.
when I was courting Cody, they told me how happy they were and all their marriages were so good. And
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like they suckered her.
Yeah.
Yep.
But she reaps the
Well,
benefits too.
Yeah.
somebody said, I can't remember who it was. I think, it was Cody. He was talking about Valerie, Joe Darger's wife. Her situation was horrible. And he says, like, when he's talking about them on the show, he's like, Valerie, she met Joe, and Joe must be a god in her eyes because of what she came out of. And I'm thinking, well, it's kind of like what I think Robin looks at Cody as after the situation she had. She was boiling pots of water on the stove to give her kids a bath because she didn't have hot water.
Yeah.
So, like, she must have looked at Cody and thought, well, God, whatever I got to do. Plus,
Yeah.
they have a
I
TV
always
show.
felt like that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like she felt like he saved her and saved her
Yep.
kids. And
Yeah. I still wonder why the her ex-husband signed over his rights to the kids. It almost sounds like he was forced to.
I think he didn't want to pay child support.
He didn't. He was from a very prominent polygamous family. Robin obviously was his first wife. They wanted to take a second wife, but Robin always had an issue with it, with the wives he would choose. He did cheat on her. He was a philanderer. And he wasn't financially responsible whatsoever. He was abusive, physically and mentally. And he really didn't want to have to be responsible for the kids in any way whatsoever, especially since he met a new woman and was starting a new family.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
See, all the ones I know, even in regular marriages where the man signs over rights to the kids, it's always in trade for not have to pay back support or current support.
Which makes no sense to me.
It breaks my heart.
Makes no sense to me because you can sign over your rights and still have to be financially responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, and a good lawyer would push for that. But I wonder if he threatened. That's why they made him sign an NDA. It was, we'll sign the NDA. You don't have to. You sign the NDA. You don't have to pay child support. We'll take custody of the kids, even. Which his kids still go see him, even though he doesn't have custody of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
I
so
think he was
weird.
gonna spill some stuff.
And we'll be here for it.
Yep.
Because I'd feel weird knowing another man is adopting me as my dad, even though I still see my real dad. That would feel weird to me.
Yeah, it's strange. It's got to be really hard for the kids' minds.
I would be so confused.
I heard it was for legal reasons because Dayton was going to need some medical help because of his accident. And then he did have some, even though he already had some issues, I believe he's autistic, but also he had some frontal lobe trauma from the accident.
Mm-hmm.
So can't give Isabel insurance to fix her back, but I sure can marry Robin and adopt her kids so that Dayton can have medical care, even though he's got a whole other parent who can help contribute.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, I'm going to have to sign off. It's getting late for me, and I got to go to work in the morning.
Yay, work.
It's so not fair.
Well, hopefully you have a better day tomorrow.
I hope so. Today was pretty hectic. Tomorrow shouldn't be so bad. Tomorrow will be better. Yay.
Almost the weekend. Almost the weekend.
Well,
So
thank
close.
you guys for coming. This was so fun.
We'll have to do it again.
I love talking Sister Wives. We'll do it again when the season's over.
Clearly, we can talk for hours about it.
I know. We love talking.
I don't know how to shut up. You guys have to tell me, like, shut up, Pickle.
Yeah.
You are fine. We love talking. We got to talking in the Discord about Sister Wives. Remember, Carly?
Yeah.
And everybody, I was surprised how many people were chiming in because I didn't think that many in the Discord like Sister Wives, but yeah.
I didn't either, but I'm glad
obsessed.
they do. So we're not the only one.
Well, thanks for coming, guys. I hope you all have a good night.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Good night.
Good
Bye,
night.
y'all.
Bye.